Well, there goes the... Let's get the right light here. Well, whoop, there goes the... Let's get the right light here. Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on this rainy July 3rd, 2021 for the 800 and, oh, it's all tilty. Hold on, let me get this a little better. The 805th episode of Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. Hello, Joyce. She's waving. You can't actually see that. She's waving and she's coughing, which is the international hello signal. And yes, we're here the very, very first weekend in July, and it's so far this really kind of glum rain out, which I love because July 4th has always been this terrible holiday. No, I mean, but I've always hated it because I'm one of those people who is sort of neurotic about loud, sudden noises. And so growing up in Brooklyn, I was kind of like the family dog. We didn't have a dog growing up, but my grandmother did. She had a stray mutt dog that she loved to pieces called Buttons. And Buttons the dog was, a sheltery kind of stray, God knows where he was from dog. Probably had a little bit of Doberman, a little bit of, I guess mostly Dobie, and maybe a little bit of Shepherd in her. And fine.
Girl or boy, honey?
Buttons was a girl. But a lady-type dog. And she was fine except on the 4th of July. And then she would just be under the bed cowering. Couldn't take the... And back then, one of the good things about life back then, and I've talked about this so many times on the show, or shows over the years, is that used to be holidays were kind of kept around when the holidays were. If people were celebrating Christmas or stores were playing music or putting up decorations, like maybe 4 or 5 days before Christmas, everything would go up. You have Christmas for the people who celebrated it, and then, a day or two later it would come down. Halloween, late October, stores would start stocking Halloween goods. People would put out pumpkins. There'd be one day of trick or treat, and then Halloween would be over. Now, of course, we live in times where Halloween decorations go into the Duane Reade right after Labor Day. It's mad. And of course, we know that Christmas, at this point, starts Christmas doesn't even start after Thanksgiving. It now starts after October. It's like Christmas season is this giant thing, which has even bled into July 4th because it's no longer even just a weekend. People start doing fireworks here and there after Memorial Day. Depending on what neighborhood you're in, you're going to be hearing fireworks in the distance or sometimes not so far in the distance. First weekend when school's in session. It's still spring. It's not even summer yet. And you're hearing people have their hands on firecrackers and fireworks. It's not only ridiculous, but it's also annoying to people like me who are trying to just concentrate, and somewhere you'll hear, poof, 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 and the big ones, the M80s, poof, poof, poof. So, one of the good things about having a dark, rainy day is I'm hoping it will keep some families, some people, from kind of going outside and blowing stuff up and making big, loud boom, boom noises and, blowing their fingers off because they'd rather be inside. Maybe they can have an umbrella over their grill, but who wants to stand outside in pouring rain and, watch fizzly, fireworks go up? Would rain make a difference? Do you know?
I don't think so. For the big ones, no. I don't know. It won't. Once they're lit, if they can get lit, I think they're okay. Somebody posted on Twitter, Elmo in hell. Look at that.
and that's kind of where he belongs. So, anywho. So anyway, you're watching Dave's Gone By. So there's the deal with that. It is the July 4th weekend. It amazes me that I was reminded of this only yesterday, hon.
What?
Something that is on my mind most of the year.
Oh, potatoes?
Something that I look for. Well, that's potatoes. I
Oh,
never forget
Potato
about
Day?
potato. Potato Day isn't really, that's September. I think they're bringing that back. No. What happens on July 4th? See?
Farmers market?
July 4th, we're hoping we'll go to our, well, actually, yeah, tomorrow. I wonder if the market will be open if it's,
I don't think so,
Oh,
because they're
crap.
closed on the 4th, someone told me.
oh, great.
I don't know. Tell me what.
What do we always do on July 4th, hon?
Oh, you clean the lint under your bed?
Close, under my belly button. I do that.
You do the happy dance like Big Dave from QVC?
I sometimes do that. Oh, but there's a hint. What does Big Dave love?
Oh, you fart out a God Bless America.
I do that,
Yes.
but I'm starting to do that every morning. When you're a middle-aged Jew like me, the air has to go somewhere.
Oh, you have a barbecue?
Okay, and what do you do at a barbecue?
Oh, I know. It's Nathan's hot dog eating.
Yes!
It's basically the time when people need to. Don't they get their stomachs pumped or something?
No, they don't have to. Well, I mean, some of them probably don't need pumping. They just pump it themselves. And if you've ever pumped it yourself, you know how delightful that can be. But here's the deal. This has become almost a wholly religious thing for me to put on our computer TV on the 4th of July and watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest that they've been doing for years and years and years. And the great, the remarkable, the hero. I mean, you want to talk about 9/11 heroes. You want to talk about Oscar Schindler and people who saved Jews in World War II. Yeah. But Joey Chestnut, a man who can down something like 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes and has numerous now world records in the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championship and is going for it again, even though he's at that age. You know, he's an old man now. I think he's in his 30s. He's at that age where...
Didn't he marry Mickey Sudo?
I don't know if they're dating or they're just friends.
And doesn't he have a line of products like?
Wouldn't you? Because that it's not just one day a year for Joey. The July 4th thing is one day. It's 4th of July. He goes to Nathan's. That's made his name. But he goes every couple of weeks. He's at some eating. How many tacos can you wolf down?
Meatballs or chicken wings?
Oh yes, not just chicken wings, hot wings. How many can you gulp down? And he's gotten record after record and competition after competition. He's probably made, I don't know, a good $12,000 doing this over the... Now, it's not, let's just say it's not golf and it's not basketball. You make a living.
He gets a t-shirt and a pat on the back saying, good job.
That's right. And probably a gift card at the local hospital just in case he needs it.
They just have a doctor, like an uncertified doctor with a tube at the end.
They give him an insulin pump. Congratulations.
I wonder, it would be interesting if anybody did a study to see the effects of like competitive eating on the body. Like they do it for dancers, they do it for all sorts of professions, fighters. There must be some effect on that body. Right?
I absolutely. I imagine, I hope that all these people who really truly competitive eat professionally do, they see a doctor very regularly and they're testing and they're like, because remember what was the movie Super Size Me?
Oh yeah, he got really sick, right? Yeah.
Well, he did not get really sick. The thing, he went and ate McDonald's 3 times a day for a month. That's all he only went to McDonald's.
If they asked him to supersize, he had to say yes. That was part of it. So whenever they said, "Will you supersize this?" he said yes.
Yeah, that was one of the rules that he made up for himself. Yeah, so he would be living on Big Macs and I guess the occasional fillet of fish and lots of fries, of course, and the apple pies and the cherry pies that McDonald's would do. And he about 3 weeks into this, because he went to a doctor, I think once a week to be checked on to know his progress. They take his blood and they do his vitals. And the doctor would say, at this point, your liver looks like pate. In 3 weeks. Yeah.
Not in a good way. That's not a compliment.
Oh, Oh.
That's
He-
not a compliment.
But he felt logy. He gained weight. He was kind of sleepy all the time. He never got really sick or anything. He was okay. But his body was telling him, you're eating way too much salt, way too many carbs, too much processed crap. Stop it. And have a burger or go to McDonald's for a Happy Meal once or twice a week, as opposed to 3 times a day, every day. So I wonder if that is the equivalent, if these competitor eaters have a shock to the system, or if they were to visit a doctor 20 minutes after the ceremony, after the contest, the doctor would say, okay, so your blood pressure is here, and this function is here and this function is there. But once 3 days later, after they pooped and they've done whatever else they've done and have eaten better.
I don't know if there's any long term. If you do that to your body, how does it undo?
I imagine, what I think about is, imagine if a woman who gets really pregnant and shows, like the stomach expands to, 18 times its regular size. If she did that monthly, as opposed to once every 9 months and then recovered.
Maternal depletion syndrome.
What was that?
Maternal depletion. It's from multiple pregnancies close together, you deplete the body.
Ooh, all right. So there you go. Yeah. Not to mention, this expansion and contract, people who lose a lot of weight quickly and then regain it and lose it. You get the flabby skin stuff, and you get.
David.
I wonder.
Why are we down this road today?
Well, why? Because we're talking about Joey Chestnut going for another record.
Are we gonna watch it?
Oh hell yeah, we're gonna watch it.
Monday or Sunday?
When's July 4th? Tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sunday, July 4th. And this year, though, see, last year things were in Joey's favor for breaking a record. Go ahead.
David, you're like a commentator. Last year.
I'm sort of a color.
Do like WWE, like the wrestling.
Isn't that? No, that's more like a boxing
year.
thing.
Last year.
Joey Chestnut was going for a record.
Chestnuts, plural.
I think it's singular. I think it's Chestnut. So, but one of the things in his favor of all things was the pandemic. Because Nathan's, for the first and only time and whatever, held the competition, but they did it indoors. Right? So there weren't thousands and thousands of people massing outside in 90-degree sunny heat in Coney Island. Instead, they brought it indoors, much better climate-controlled conditions. So now you've got people who aren't, not to mention just staring at rows full of Frankfurters and having to eat them, but they're not having to cope with the sun beating down, the sweat, the misery of the heat.
Or the screaming people, or
Well, the people is probably, that goads them on. I'm sure that makes them... But everybody was also distanced, so there was a sense of ideal prime conditions for taking hot dogs and going...
Why don't you demonstrate with poop? You have them.
I do. Here we go. I'll do that again. I'm not going to break him in half, because that's what they do. They break him and they dip him in water. And so they go down.
Do you think they have like a paramedic or somebody on call in case they do get sick?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm sure they have an ambulance ready to...
Like a hospital.
Yes! I'm sure they have...
They just inject them with sauerkraut. They have a sauerkraut injection in their foot.
Take them to the mustard tent, stat!
I think so.
Oh, man. No, it's weird. I'm all for competitive eating. I think the competition is hysterical. It's exciting. It's fun. It's so ridiculous that I love it. And then at some point, someone's going to drop dead. Someone who is kind of new to the game is going to go up there. They're not going to do like 70 hot dogs. They'll do 40, but it's too much. And they either choke to death or they just shock their systems. And by the end of the afternoon, they're dead. And it's like, why are we doing this competition? How can you support this, like boxing? Or I actually don't support bullfighting, but it's bullfighting.
Why are they doing bullfighting now?
No, I'm saying it's a sport that I'm against. I don't think there's a sport.
Hot dog eating to bullfighting.
Oh, I'm saying these are sports that people would complain about because of their cruelty, their brutality. Boxing, this thing of what is it? It's like boxing, but no gloves and no. It's all. Oh, what do they call it? Uh, they can kick. They can. There's no. They're not really protected, and it just seems a whole lot more dangerous than boxing is. Not that boxing is so safe. So, this is another one that could fall into a category of
Yeah,
you could really hurt yourself. Then again, so is skiing, right?
that's true.
Then again, so is football,
And
of course.
even anything like you could play bad table tennis and get a splinter.
Yes, elbow.
Yeah.
They call it tennis. Elbow.
I mean, bowling is lovely, but you could,
You could give a hernia or get a hernia
for
from bowling.
bowling.
Well, if you pick the ball up, you go,
It's not like how much does the bowling ball weigh? Like 8 pounds?
The one I use is 8 pounds. I think the
What's
normal
like-
one is about 12 to 16 pounds.
That's like a weight. I could give you a weight.
Yeah.
See it,
So any sport, chess can drive people crazy. Chess can make people mentally ill. My grandfather had a little bit of that. He was addicted to chess. It happens, Backgammon. Actually, I've never heard of anybody.
I've heard of people addicted to chutes and ladders. Some children that are going to rehab. Yeah.
Really, really.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you, but I've heard it.
Wow. Because he had to actually go to a massage therapist for bad backgammon. I need a noise out. That was really bad. Thank you. So, I am rooting for Joey. I think the one thing that might be in his favor is if they do it outdoors in Coney Island, it's not going to be the weather we were having earlier in the week, where it was 97 degrees at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning, afternoon. It might be in sort of the low 70s, mid 70s, which, okay, especially if it's cloudy. I think they'll be okay. I want to see, by the way, I keep talking about Joey. Mickey Sudo, the female.
How many did she do?
I think it was 40 something. I would have to
I think she
look.
did well.
She did very, very well for a girl.
Yeah.
And I do like to see girls cram down hot dogs. I don't know why. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. You're watching Dave's Gone By live on this Saturday morning. It is July 3rd, 2021. We're calling... Perfect noise. We're calling this episode Cliff Hanger, not just because our friend Llama is hanging off the cliff of the shelf here, but because we have a guest coming up in the Daverhood in about 40 minutes from now. We've had some amazing, wonderful, well-known musicians on Dave's Gone By over the years. Everyone from legends like Neil Sedaka and Judy Collins and Gary U.S. Bonds and the late Peter Tork of the Monkees and Dave Davis of the Kinks. Just throughout 18 and a half years, we've had a lot of people on here. And then a lot of folks from the folk tradition, late Oscar Brand, the great Tom Paxton, who, by the way, is going to be playing in a couple of days, I think in Virginia. We'll mention that in our Friends of the Daverhood segment. Christine Lavin, of course, our beloved friend of the Daverhood. Lots of people like that. And we have another one. We have coming up today, not too far from now, the fine singer-songwriter and guitarist and dobro player. Mm-hmm. Cliff, he plays a dobro.
Is that like an oboe?
No. It's this country-ish sounding guitar. That really gives it a real twangy sort of sound. Maybe we'll have him explain it. But his name is Cliff. Get it, Cliff?
Is it Cliff
Eberhardt. Cliff Eberhardt. Going to be talking, not to me, alas, but to the great Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. So Rabbi Sol is a music lover, an art lover, and so he will be talking to Cliff Eberhardt about his year. He's been making music now. He's had albums for about 30 years, making music for 40 or so, and just seems like a really, not just talented guy, but I watched a couple of interviews of him, and he seems like a lot of fun. So he's going to be talking with Rabbi Sol Solomon on Dave's Gone By. This should be great.
Will Rabbi Sol do any competitive eating, like with the potato pancakes?
They're going to have a competitive dobro contest. It's gonna be, it'll be like dueling dobros.
People eating. What would Rabbi Salomon eat?
What would Rabbi say? Um, uh, it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Knishes and blintzes. So, yeah. It was just an array of knish. It's a knish and blintz eating contest. All you can eat. And I don't know how they managed it. It was 2 straight hours. So all the knishes and blintzes you can eat. Rabbi Sal was up against Theodore Bickel about 27 years ago. It was... Nobody cared who won after 45 minutes. It was just the most disgusting thing that anybody ever seen. Because some of the knishes were all regular potato knish and potato.
What?
Yeah, they didn't throw any kasha knishes in there. However, the blintzes were blueberry and cherry, and you just didn't want to see what that table looked like. It was terrible. Anywho, where was I going with that? So Cliff Eberhardt, and he has been invited, by the way, to stick around and play the Yesterday trivia quiz opposite our regular panelists, David Sheward and Leslie Hoban.
Returning champ, David won again.
Usual champ, returning champ, David Sheward, and his regular competitor, and and his cohort in theater coverage and writing, Leslie Hoban Blake. So that should be a lot of fun. Also, we will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. You think it's wet here in New York? Colorado just have Greeley, Colorado.
My good friend, I wrote her about, some project we were working on, and she's like, yeah, I'm in my basement. We've had, extreme flooding, and she had to, clean her basement. She said they had between 2 and 4 inches in, rapid time. It just, went crazy.
I mean, Greeley, Colorado, it's a dry climate. They love water. Well, I guess the ground gets so dry that when water does come.
It's for the farmers, right?
Well, yeah, yes and no. If they get flooded out, if they get no rain, and then they get too much rain, it's not necessarily ideal. But then again, they're irrigating and they're monitoring stuff. I don't know, but just this idea of a flood in Greeley is just so. Tornadoes they would get.
That too, right?
Yeah, it's global warming, ladies and gentlemen. So. What was I saying about Greeley? Oh, Greeley crime. Well, first of all, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to be going to Creede, Colorado. We're going to Creede, Creede. Every week I share a horrid, disgusting little poem about Colorado. It's usually 5 lines long. Rado, as limericks tend to be, and they tend to be raunchy, risque, or disturbing, and I'm pretty confident this one is. So stick around for the Colorado Limerick. What? The Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And speaking of Colorado, the segment, which we're going to start right now because you got to vacate in 20 minutes. So, our Colorado. What? Yeah, well, yeah, you have time. Yeah, we're going to do it right now. Good. And then when you go out, I'll do some other talking because I want to tell you about my eyeball. And what else do I want to tell you about? Well, we can just talk about other stuff until Cliff Eberhardt gets here. But, and Rabbi Saul will be reading the newspapers today. Isn't that exciting? He will share things that he has found in the local Jewish papers. So you have a lot of reasons to stick around for Dave's Gone By all this morning, 9 until noon Eastern Time. But first, yes, here it is, the Greeley Tribune, the actual newspaper of northern Colorado's Greeley. Comes out 4 times a week in hard copy, and it's still a irregular newspaper online because they do 2 wonderful columns every week. One of them is called Coplog, about phone calls from concerned citizens that come into police dispatch, and our friend Mike Peters goes through the newspapers 100 years ago, back in 1921.
How he's doing.
I hope he's doing great.
I hope he didn't get flooded in Greeley.
Yeah, I know. But his thing is
his next book, Tornadoes and Floods in Greeley.
So he has written a book about when he was a crime beat reporter, about the first unsolved case he was on. But mostly he does really fun stuff. He writes a column called The Gnarly Trombone for the Tribune.
Tell people what that means. They don't
the gnarly trombone was one of the misnomer ways that people used to talk about the Greeley Tribune.
Oh, David, you got some emojis from Rachel and Jamie.
Hello, Rachel. Hello, Jamie. How you doing? And thanks for watching Dave's Come By. And
I
giving
think
us...
they want to compete in your competitive eating.
Oh, maybe. Well, I wonder if competitive digital eating, I don't know if you can even monitor that.
You could do it on Zoom and watch people.
Yeah, but you have to pan out enough so you can make sure they weren't spitting the food out and they were regulation sized.
Or they could have a loop of themselves eating and just throw the video of them eating.
That's right, the same minute over and over. Wow.
They're a beast.
So, anywho, Greeley Crimes and Old Times, we mix them up, the ones from 100 years ago and the phone calls to police dispatch, and we shake them all up, put them together in a segment that we do call Greeley Crimes and Old Times. La 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 la, la 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 la, ba ba da da, Billy indeed we. Yes, Greeley Crimes and Old Times, ladies and gentlemen, here on Dave's Gone By. So here's the deal. I love the segment basically because I don't have to do anything. It just allows me to do. They've done the work. The folks at the Greeley Tribune have culled the funniest items from real news, by the way. So whether it was from a week or 2 or 3 ago, phone calls to the police dispatch or things that were in the paper in 1921, these were actual things. They're not fake. Are you ready, babe? Are you ready for some criminality?
I'm ready.
I'm feeling like a criminal. A caller. Ooh. It's funny how the siren comes through the phone before they've even made the complaint. Okay.
They know.
Oh, wait, listen. Can you hear them? No, they can't. A caller on 10th Street asked what they should do after and I have done things like this, after placing both renewal stickers on one license plate. This is absolutely the kind of thing that can happen to me. Because once you get that thing on...
I know, it doesn't come off.
Yeah, it's the adhesive thing.
Shouldn't you call the DMV? Why are you calling the police? The police is DMV!
Yeah, I guess you can get a renewal replacement.
Yeah, of course. You call DMV, not the police.
Okay. They probably said call it. You're smarter than I am. I would spend 10 minutes trying to figure it out and trying to help them if I were dispatched.
No,
but
they're not supposed to do that. They have to help people who are really sick.
Well, but it's the police who will give you a problem if they don't see the license renewal thing in the right place. It's not the DM. They don't care.
They're not going to write you a note.
Yeah, they'll give you a ticket.
Yeah.
Well, anywho, a caller. Hey, hello, caller. A caller said her 13-year-old son, oh, this is good, put pictures of himself holding guns on his Facebook page, and his friend's parents allowed him to do it. The caller then, the son told police officers it was a BB gun, and he did it to look cool. How would you feel about it?
I don't think that's illegal.
It's not illegal, but, I mean, it's a 13-year-old kid holding a gun on Facebook.
Welcome to America.
That's right. That's now he's going to be in tight with the kids in junior high.
Age kids can hunt, but kids could probably hunt at that age.
Yeah, but he's saying it was a BB gun. But even so.
Yeah, but it's I think with all the school shootings in Colorado, it's not a good idea.
Right. Yeah.
It's not good.
I never understood also BB guns. I mean, why would you kill a baby? Anywho, moving on.
Wait. Get it a B. B.
Oh, B. I get it now.
Okay.
Honey, are you ready? Are you ready for an awe alert? No, this is gentle awe.
I don't think I have any gentle sound. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. This is an awe alert. Everybody go, awe.
Okay.
Oh. No, that's not an awe. All right, that'll do. Yes. A caller on 13th Street reported seeing a mother mallard duck and her 12 ducklings struggling on the road.
Oh.
The caller placed them in a box and asked for someone to pick them up to take them somewhere safer.
But they're in a park.
Well, yeah, or she could have. Yeah.
If you take the time to box up ducklings, you can dump them in a park.
Yeah, she could have just gone to Glenmuir somewhere.
That's weird.
Yeah. Um, oh. I still think that's an awe alert. 12 little ducklings struggling across the road. No?
I have 7 goslings in my park. I'm happy.
Yeah, we do. We've watched them grow up. I think we were talking about this a week ago, where Joyce and I, when we can, after I get home from work, we go walking. She'll go during the day to walk around our local park here. And about 3-4 weeks ago already, she noticed a mama and a papa duck. And sometimes there's an alternate papa duck hanging around. It's a strange, like thruple kind of family. Yeah. With and then all of a sudden that duck, they're geese, right? These are geese.
They're
Yeah.
geese. Yeah, they're probably Canadian geese.
And there were these fuzzy geese, and they weren't babies anymore. These were already children, but these adorable fuzzy geeselets.
I think they're goslings.
Goslings, that's it. All hanging together. And the main thing we would do every week we would go there was, are there still 7? Because you always wonder, their wild dogs or their cats or their other things that will get these creatures. Snapping turtles in the lake might be hungry. And I know I like a good duck dinner. So each time, every night, just about, we would go to the park and go looking around. And oh, there they are. Each time they go a little further down in the park, and we panic when we didn't see them. When we see a couple of ducks, are those the parents? Where are the kids? Where are the kids? And then we keep walking, and they all be hanging together as a clan. And these fuzzy little things, and they waggle their little tushies. I don't know really. I'm not even telling a real story here. This is just truth. And they're so cute, and we just saw them again a couple of days ago, and they're turning though. They grow up so fast. And they do. They're still a little bit fuzzy on the tops of their heads, but their bodies are turning more into actual geese. And within another week, I imagine we won't really be able to tell them from grown-ups. And then they'll go off and have families of their own. And it's kind of sweet. But anyway, that was an awe alert here on Greeley Crimes and Old Times. By the way, on Dave's Gone By, that's the name of the program, right here on our show. Every Saturday from 9 until noon, we do Dave's Gone By. It's on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Dave's Gone By. If you want to find out more about this program, make sure you go to davesgoneby.com. Because if you're just new to this, somehow, after 18 and a half years and 800 shows, if you've never watched the show, never heard about it, never listened to it, well, you've got a lot of catching up to do. And you absolutely can just by going to davesgoneby.com. Our archives are there from the very first program, October 6th, I believe it was, of 2002. We went on the air on terrestrial radio for an hour. And we had a lot of fun, and it was a pretty damn good show for our first one out of the box. We still have it as an audio file for free at davesgoneby.com. Unfortunately, the second show was somehow didn't get recorded. There were technical difficulties. That's gone. But our third show, and our fourth, and our fifth, and nearly, with one or two exceptions, every program we ever did of Dave's Gone By, whether it was audio or over the past 4 years, now video, it's there, saved for whenever you want to listen to it. All those musicians that I mentioned when I opened the program who've been on the show, you want to hear our interviews with those people? You want to hear our Gary U.S. Bonds interview, our Neil Sedaka interview, our interview with Peter Tork, who passed away, and Oscar Brand. Those are the most, in some ways, valuable to me because those people are gone. And now they're part of music history and part of the history of this show. It's all there at davesgoneby.com, whether you listen to the entire episode or just the interviews themselves. We have a separate archive of those. Plus, we put our archives at archive.org, archive.org. So that's a nonprofit website. And what they do is they're just trying to collect every piece of art and entertainment that's been done since, I used to think it was just this century or late last century. No, it was like the beginning of time. If they find the Rosetta Stone, they're going to have a picture of it on archive.org. And as well they should. All these public domain books and pieces of literature and radio shows from the Golden Age and so forth, archive.org. And hey, Dave's Gone By is there too. If you are a podcasty kind of person, and you just want to listen to the program as opposed to you also see it, go to, well, you can do it from our website too, but castbox.fm is specifically for podcasting, so we put all our audio of our shows at castbox.fm, and it's a great way you can just download and go wherever you go. And if your name is Hugo, you should be watching the program. Plus, we put all our stuff on YouTube. Sometimes YouTube gives us conniptions in terms of copyright issues if we play any music. And then they've just been muting episodes of the show from like 8 years ago. I'll get a message, oh no, this is banned in 18 different countries. I'm like, what the? For 8 years it was fine, now it's not. That's annoying. But anyway, we do put our stuff on YouTube, all of it. Whether you can access all of it, I'm not so sure. Your best bet is still davesgoneby.com. Oh, and by the way, don't forget still that Long Island Public Access Channel 20, if you have Altice Cable in Nassau County, Monday mornings at 1 a.m., Tuesdays at 4 o'clock, you can see random hour-long excerpts of Dave's Gone By. So again, it's not the best way to watch the show, but if you're happening to be channel flipping and you're like, what the hell? Where's the religious program and the gospel people? And where's that woman who does drama therapy? And where's Zabby? Who's this? Oh, there's this woman from like local Nassau County, Long Island. I forget her name, but she's got a great time slot. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays.
I know.
You see, yeah. Don't necessarily need to watch the show. I'm just glad she's there. But yeah, man, they're sort of commandeering, and all these religious people have time on public access. So we've snagged 2 hours a week, Mondays at 1 a.m., Tuesdays at 4 a.m. for episodes of Dave's Gone By, or at least excerpts, 1 hour excerpts of the show. So, it's kind of a new way of grabbing viewers and of letting people know, hey, we're in the Daverhood. Come join us. Anyway, come join us now for more of Greeley Crimes. Excuse me.
You have your tea, honey.
And old times. Hold on, let me get a little tea in my body.
Yeah, it's a lot of honey, so it's good. Good.
You're my honey. Yes. Here we go. Our next item of criminality is a caller. Oh, hello. On 23rd Avenue reported an abandoned camper trailer that smelled, quote, like death, with no people inside, located in a parking lot. Yeah. Honestly, I would say if a camper trailer if my trailer smelled like death, I would abandon it.
No, but didn't we watch the Grateful Dead thing with the man called Pigpen?
Right.
And
yeah.
I was discussing how maybe people did not have the best hygiene.
They certainly did not. And Woodstock is like, oh.
It could just be a bad hygiene problem.
Let's hope. That's the one problem with Greeley Crimes at all times. There's no follow-up. They all suddenly say, oh, police went into the van and they saw
a squirrel or something.
Yeah, right. So
that's the sad part.
And here's one more piece of criminality, my friends. A man on 12th Avenue told police he confronted his neighbor's kid, or his neighbor's two kids, who climbed his fence. The children cussed him out and tried to fight him.
Oh my God.
He wanted someone to tell the neighbor to have respect. And then, so that happened at about 8:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
15 minutes later, another caller on 12th Avenue reported his neighbor was threatening to hit his children with a flashlight.
Oh.
That's escalating.
Isn't that the Hatfield and the McCoys, right?
Yeah.
They both,
Well, if he does do that, they're going to be pretty bright kids. And against a flashlight, it would be assault with battery. Well, you know why you get juvenile delinquents like that? In the summertime, there's no school. They have no place to glow. What? What? So there's a flashlight joke.
Thank you for illuminating me.
Flashlight.
Thank you for illuminating me.
I heard that. I'm giving. I don't have a noise. Here, I do. I can do a noise thing. Joyce says, "Thank you for illuminating me." I don't have. You have all the machines there. Any more light jokes? No. Okay, that ended in a flash. Let's do some old times though. Let's go to so these were all things that happened last week or two in Greeley, Colorado. Now, one or two of these happened 100 years ago, also in northern Colorado, and this was put in the newspapers. A Platteville man was bound over for trial for shooting his brother's bull. The man...
That's the closest I can get.
Well, that's the man. The man said the bull was dangerous and charged him. Well, bulls would be. He told the sheriff
Bulls can't have a credit card.
Oh! I know. It's not the same as having a noise thing. Remind me, I got to bring a noise thing for myself to have here. The man said the bull was dangerous and charged him. He told the sheriff he shot the bull in fear for his life. But his brother said the bull was kind and gentle and a family pet. And this may shock you. Deputies said the brothers have been involved in a long-running fight. Yeah, think.
And then, I think their descendants, like 100 years later, moved next to each other. And some kids harassed the man and tried to beat up the man going over a fence, and the man threatened them with the flashlight.
Two flashlights like horns.
Yes.
Yeah. Toro.
Yeah, those blood feuds, it's like the Greek blood feuds, right? In the trilogies.
Now, I'm reticent to read this, my friends. This is also from 100 years ago in the papers. H exclamation point.
Whoa. I think it means a heck.
That's it.
Heck.
Go to heck. Go to heck. Those were the words shouted at a driver on the cement road from Evans to Windsor.
Not on the cement road. That's where the hipsters go.
Who knew they had cement 100
They go
years
on
ago?
the dirt roads. That's where you gotta, the good
But
people go.
now, when he looked back to see who was shouting at him, the driver crashed into another auto.
Let's see.
No one was injured.
Thank God.
Oh, man.
And let's see.
And now. Sometimes we have prose on this, and I write in prose for this show, and sometimes we have cons. Here is the long con. A 49-year-old Eton man was arrested for leading a campaign he called, quote, living without working.
That's called the welfare state.
Well, here's the deal. His reason he was arrested, he had two young boys who carried signs saying they were epileptics and needed donations to get treatment.
That's called fraud, right?
Yeah, well, there you go.
Fraud.
Neither boy had epilepsy. They were splitting the money with the Eton man who said he had never worked.
Remember, David, that they had all these weird scams where these Munchausen parents would make the kids sick?
Oh,
and
that's...
then they would but then they would try to get money and they'd say the kid has X, Y, or Z and the kid didn't.
Well, that's a mental illness thing. But this is more like a paper moon sort of scam where you got two kids.
Like disability scams, right? But the city where the workers,
I have whiplash from a car accident.
And then you see them working construction.
These people were shouting at me, go to heck, go to heck. I turned my head and, oh!
I can't believe people would shout, go to heck. What is this world coming to?
I don't know. I think just for fun I would carry around this sign that says I'm an epileptic. Although as comedy, it's no great shakes. No, nothing? Nothing there? No?
I was looking. Somebody got a Carvel cake, got a Fudgy the Whale for their birthday.
Oh, Joyce is looking on Facebook. Someone got a Fudgy the Whale for their... Oh. Anyway, one more old-time thing. The trial of Chris Neuswanger. The accused... Oh, wow. Remember Indian Smith?
Oh, yeah.
We used to hear about him all the
around.
time.
Yeah.
Chris Neuswanger, the accused murderer of Indian Smith. Now, Indian Smith was the hermit who lived along the Poudre River bottoms. And if you've ever wiped the Poudre River bottoms, you know how disgusting they can be. But the trial is off to a slow start. The men of the jury selection all knew Indian Smith, and they didn't like him, some saying he deserved to die. By the way, Indian Smith was not really an Indian. He just called himself that because he hoped to receive government money. Nice. Indian Smith.
Oh, he wanted to claim. A lot of people do that. It's the nationality that most people are not. Like they don't have any genetic relationship, but people overclaim it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm Native American, like we're indigenous. If you're not, you're not. Don't lie.
Well, maybe he had a hermit permit. Yeah, I don't know. Anywho, we haven't gone elsewhere. So we've done some modern crime, we've done some older times, but during this segment we also like to go elsewhere in terms of other weird news stories that weren't from Colorado at all. And we go sometimes very far afield. In fact, this particular story comes out of Sydney, Australia. So I want to thank you, Sydney, for sending me this. 2 nude sunbathers on a remote beach along the south coast of Australia. They were reportedly startled by a deer, so they ran into the nearby national park, got lost.
Oh no! And then they're nudie.
Well, I think somehow they found a phone. I don't know where they hid it.
Where do you pay for a phone?
Where do you keep your phone, sir? You see how I'm walking funny? And they did call police to rescue them. That is when they were fined for breaking COVID lockdown orders. Yep. The 2 lost men were tracked down on a walking trail after they placed an emergency call. One wasn't quite naked. He was wearing a backpack.
Oh, okay, well.
All you had to do was turn around and make a front pack. It would have been all right. Can you take this? That might be our guest calling in to say there might be a problem.
Hello? Yeah, he's on the air. Do you need a link or something? Are you okay?
Oh, I just got distracted there by our guest who's on our phone. Oh no, is he?
Oh, you're in. So what time zone are you in? Okay, so yeah, I think it's at what time is the interview?
10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes at 10. So not at 9, but at 10. Are you available at 10? Oh, perfect. Yeah, not 9, 10. Yeah, we're in Eastern time zone too.
Yeah. So how
Yeah, no worries. And he'll put you in the waiting room and then you'll come in. No worries. You're good. You're good. You got it. You're good. See you soon. Bye.
And that is one of the many things that my wife Joyce does for this show that you really don't necessarily hear about or see or party to. You know, she's here, she's part of the program, she's laughing at my jokes when she can bring herself to laugh at these jokes. And then she's doing the Facebook thing and she's making the noises. But when somebody gets on the phone like that, and it's crucial to this episode because that was Cliff Eberhardt, who's going to be zooming in just a few minutes.
I think a lot of people probably still think that it's Colorado. He's in Eastern time zone, so he thought he was supposed to be. I guess he got the Facebook thing, and he thought 9 o'clock the show started, so he thought he was supposed.
Yeah.
And I thought I was supposed to be on at 12. And then,
oh gosh, no.
But maybe your ad says 10, so he thought 10.
No, I'm looking at the message I wrote to him. It says 10 a.m. Eastern. So it's just musicians. They go to sleep at 5 in the morning and they wake up 2 hours later. But no. But I'm very glad he called, and we'll be very glad to get him on the air in just a few minutes with Rabbi Saul. So let me actually get through 1 or 2 more of these things so we can get ready for Cliff Eberhardt. These 2 nude sunbathers placed the emergency call. And by the way, one of them, even by the time they were found, they were partially clothed, so it wasn't like they were completely naked at that point.
Maybe they had stuff in their backpack.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that's right. If you're carrying stuff, I'd carry a thong just in case, because you never know. Sydney, Australia, has imposed new lockdowns due to the Delta variant. So this wasn't like weeks ago. This was like 2 weeks ago. And police handed out 44 fines over 24 hours. So the two men were fined for disregarding travel regulations. So I don't know if they were fined for going to the nude beach in the first place, for going out, being on everything during the pandemic, or if they strayed into a place where they shouldn't have gone, and that's why they got the COVID fine. I do not know. But anyway, let's get back to some Greeley crime to round out Greeley crimes and old times on this. So yeah, so that's why I want to finish this out. Here we go. A caller on the highway. Oh, it might have been them. It might be the nude beachgoers. Hello, highway caller. A caller on the highway reported he fell asleep while driving, and what do you think he hit, dear?
A deer?
No, that's a great answer, but no.
A cow?
Nope.
A bull?
He hit a speed limit sign.
There you go.
Yeah, you're probably going to do that if you fall asleep while driving. A caller on 29th Street reported a man came into the UC Health Hospital with a fake badge and a gun, impersonating a police officer. The caller said the guy will likely return because his wife is a patient at that location.
You can't impersonate anybody. You're not supposed to do that.
No. I mean, I've been trying out my Rich Little impersonations, and they've been going.
No, didn't you try to impersonate? You try to impersonate a dog catcher or a cat catcher.
Oh, I do. A couple more. Let's do a couple more. Guess what, hon? Well, more than that. What is the most famous, important place, junction in the world? Where would that be?
I don't know.
The Bermuda Triangle of America. Where is it?
Oh, 8th and 8th.
We have an 8th and 8th alert, which means that this particular item in the papers, in Top Log, in the Greeley Tribune, happened on 8th Avenue and 8th Street. The juncture, that corner, which we go to all the time. 8th and 8th, the vortex. A caller reported a man, big shock, outside of their business, acting strange. There's more. The man's hands were up in the air, and he was spitting at passersby. Which, in regular times, that's not good. In pandemic times, it's kind of even worse.
I have to go to the
gym. Yeah.
So the man will call.
Oh, well, he's going to
Is he in the waiting room? Can you tell?
He's not. No, there's no good. I think he's waiting until like 2 minutes to 10, which is very nice of him. So, anywho. So, let's do one more. Let's do one more, and then I'll let you. Okay. And a caller on 28th Avenue reported, speaking of flashlights, a flashing light. Okay. A picture of God and something hanging down from a stroller in a back alleyway. Now that belongs on 8th and 8th. You've got a flashing light, a picture of God, and something hanging from a stroller. These are three items I think absolutely go together. It's the story of Greeley, that's for sure. Thank you very much. Joyce will come back, but she's got gym stuff to do. Yeah, I've got the phone, and I've got the Zoom,
You rock it, baby.
and we've got the show. We've got Dave's Gone By, live on this Saturday, the day before July 4th, 2021. We're doing our 805th episode of this program, which, by the way, is partially brought to you by the fine folks at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the copy kings of Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island. Look at this. We've got Cliff Eberhardt coming on the show in just a couple of minutes. So let's look for the letter E on their sheet of all the things they can do for your business. We've got embossing, embroidered apparel, engraving, And they can engrave wedding invitations, business cards, professional stationery, and social stationery, plus envelopes, of course, and envelope seals. I've asked them if they have envelope otters or envelope narwhals. They don't, but they do have envelope seals at Hewlett Minuteman Press, and they're fine people. The Tarrant family has owned and operated this franchise in Hewlett, Long Island since the mid-1970s. A few years ago, they moved offices, but just 2 doors down. They're still right where they've always been, and they do fine quality work. They're really great people. I miss Yvonne, who left after being there for 20-something years to go off and get a new great job. So bye, Yvonne, but people who are there now are still terrific. It's the Tarrant family, and if you tell them at Hewlett Minuteman Press that Dave sent you, you get 10% off any job, big or small. So give them a call. You know, this is Minuteman. Look at all the things they do here. Digital copies, UPS mailing, law enforcement printing, shipping of everything, gifts, for bar and bat mitzvahs and sweet 16s, elegant stationery. If it's a little, let's see, what's the next holiday? Probably, well, it's a little early for Rosh Hashanah cards, but you could think about it. It's all there at Hewlett Minuteman Press, 10% off if you mention Dave's Gone By. 516-569-5577, area code 516-569-5577. Hewlett Minuteman Press, they are the copy kings. And I do feel like king of the universe when I do this program, Dave's Gone By, every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. until noon or thereabouts. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest entering the waiting room. Our guest, who is a longtime veteran and terrific musician. And he will be playing live, not tomorrow, but next Sunday, the 11th, in Patchogue, outdoors, safely, distancedly. So go see him. Who am I talking about? The man you are about to hear. His name is Cliff Eberhardt. And his music sounds like this.
Well, I wonder how you felt that night when you stumbled up the ladder with excuses in your pockets. Well, now I guess it doesn't matter. You never thought I'd listen to your stories and your fables, but I watched while Rome was burning in the ashtray on your table. You made your way to the stage, but the barroom was your calling. You promoted and alerted on to the timeline of your falling. You didn't want my sympathy. What you wanted was a witness to all the ones who turned their backs and the level of your brilliance. When we were kings, we thought we lived forever, but the devil doesn't care if you are smart or if you're clever. You thought that you had fooled us, hiding in your fortress. You had a secret love. The bottle was your mistress.
Oh, the lovely sound of a folk singer, a pop singer, and a great musician and guitarist. The face and the, well, that's a girl hand. I'm seeing a girl hand in front of the lens. First of all, the person that you are looking at, we were just listening to, his name is Cliff Eberhardt. His albums go all the way back to 1990's The Long Road. He also has Mona Lisa's Cafe, 12 Songs of Good and Evil. He was just talking about the devil there. And this is the great pun title. He did an entire album of Doors songs called Wood and Doors. Get it? Wood and Doors, Wood and... Okay. You also heard him sing the Chevy Heartbeat of America jingle. Let me tell you, we're going to talk about music. This is a man who used to sleep in his father's guitar case. And it was probably an electric guitar, so it must have hurt. Plus, Christine Lavin has jokingly called him the bad boy of folk. which is just fine because I've been called the sociopath of Judaism. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Daverhood, Cliff Eberhardt. Shalom, Cliff. Hello. Unmute yourself. Do the unmuting thing there. Hold on. You got to do this. I'm asking you to unmute. So just because you automatically get muted.
Okay.
Oh, shalom to you. How are you doing?
Shalom to you. I'm doing fine.
Mit Mazel McGlick, you're looking at. So who was that lady hand? Was someone was doing a hand thing in front of the lens? What
That was my partner, Louise.
Hello, Louise. Shalom to you. How long have you been together?
10 years.
10 years, Mit Mazel. How did you meet? Did you meet on the road? Did you meet not on the road?
We met at a folk festival.
Figures. Is she a musician too, or what does she do?
Absolutely.
Oh, Mit Mazel. This is cool. And I love the paintings behind you. And so where are you? Are you in Massachusetts, I guess? Or
I'm in Williamsburg, Massachusetts, which is 9 miles outside of Northampton.
Oh, very nice. But next Sunday, not tomorrow, but next Sunday, you won't be in Massachusetts. You're going to be on Long Island, not too far from
I am.
In Patchogue, beautiful Patchogue, Long Island, outdoors for house concerts. It's like down by the creek house concerts at gmail.com. Could they make a longer email address for this? Cliff Eberhardt will be there doing songs from his recent album, New Things, again with the puns, because it's K-N-E-W, Canoe Things. So how have you weathered the pandemic?
I made that album at home.
Oh, in basement, like you have a recording studio thing, or what?
I have a recording studio upstairs in one of the bedrooms, and I played all the instruments on it, so it took up a lot of time.
Which, I mean, did you miss playing in clubs and because at a certain age, traveling and getting on planes and all that? Did you miss that after a year and a half?
Oh yeah,
you did
more than anything.
What is it about playing in front of people live like that versus I can tailor it, I can record it just the way I want, put the microphone and make the sound just what I want to hear? What's it different?
Well, you don't feel any energy when you're playing alone. You don't feel the energy from the audience, and I also like the whole day of playing. I mean, your show is in your blood that whole day, and I love the travel, and I love hotels and eating out and meeting people. So it's a lifestyle, and I missed it.
But now are you booking like a lot of shows for late 21?
Not a lot. There's a lot of places still closed. I have some, I've about 10 gigs on the books, where normally it'd be 50 for this,
Do you remember the very first time you got up in front of people and played a song?
Yeah.
Tell me, please.
Well, I mean, I used to play with my brother Jeff back when I was a teenager. We did some open mics, but my first gig was at the Bitter End in New York City, opening for David Brenner, the comedian. They used to do that a lot, where they would have a comedian and a musical act.
Huh. So what songs did you play back? So this would have been 80s or when? Or
oh no, 60s.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was 15 when I first played.
So you went down to the Bitter End and you got to the point where they put you on just before David Brenner, who was at that. Well, he wasn't in this. Was he sort of unknown at that point, or was he already a name?
No, he's a name.
So, how was the audience? Did they welcome you, or was that?
I can't remember at all.
All right, I'm just kind of wondering. So, who else in those early times did you open for?
Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee. Dave Van Ronk, Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Stop right there, please. Stop right there, Cliff Eberhardt. Do you have any Dave Van Ronk, mayor of McDougal Street, stories?
Many. I was very close friends with him.
Oh.
So I spent a lot of time with him, and what most people don't know is he was a great cook.
Oh.
So we would have dinners, and he would hold court. Most of the stories I have about him involve dirty words.
By the way, I play a rabbi on TV, but in terms of four-letter words, I'm fucking fine with them. So please.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, we were up in Canada for the Mariposa Festival, and this was like 1985 or something. And I was playing guitar for him and also doing my own show. And back then you couldn't get Chuck Taylor sneakers in America. And he saw a pair in a store, and we pulled over, and he went in and he said, "I'd like a pair of Chuck Taylors like they have in the window." And the guy says, "Can I interest you in a running shoe?" And he went, "No, I want the Chuck Taylors." He said, "How about an all-purpose shoe?" And he went, I forgot that every time he said, "You want a running shoe?" he went, "How about a running shoe, eh? How about an all-purpose shoe, eh?" And David Rock said, "I want those shoes." And he goes, "Do you guys say A in America?" And he goes, "Yeah, we say fucking A. Give me the sneakers."
Well, what was wrong with that guy that he didn't want to sell that pair of sneakers? If somebody
I have no
says,
idea.
"I want to sell it to him," what's the matter with you? You know, it's like you've already made the sale. What are you trying to do? But
I also remember that trip that he had oysters and cognac for breakfast.
all right. Did he put the cognac in a pan, or did he sip the cognac and have oysters, or was that part of the thing that he was marinating that were? Or
No. He would eat the raw oyster and sip the cognac.
for breakfast? Wow. But this mythology has grown up around Dave Van Ronk at this point. How much of that was true, and how much of it? No, he's just a normal guy. Was just a little bigger and more overbearing than most.
No, he was the smartest guy in the room, always.
Oh my!
I remember at his funeral, his widow turned to me and said, "Now who's going to tell us what to do?" Because Dave kind of held court, and I mean, without him, there would be no Greenwich Village. Really, he was one of the first people to ever perform solo with a guitar at a club.
I honestly, I don't remember whether it was Christine Lavin or Jill Sabule who took guitar lessons from him and was
Christine.
Oh, it was Christine. She did. Did you? I mean, you were already a guitarist when you met him. But did he teach you anything? Did you teach him anything?
We didn't mess with guitar with each other. I mean, he liked the way I played, so he hired me as a guitar player at one point. We met. I'll tell you, the way we met was great. I mean, when I opened for him when I was 15, I never met him. You know, he stayed in the dressing room, but I was doing a benefit again at the bitter end with Peter, Paul, and Mary. And this would be like 1979, I guess. And I did a cover of Glory of Love. And at the end of it, Dave comes rushing into the room, waving his finger, and said, "Now that's the way you do a fucking cover."
You got the voice. It's this weird high pitched but raspy.
Right.
Well, I should know about such things, but yes, you got him. So tell me about some of these other wonderful, legendary people, folk or rock, or that you have played with, that you might have anecdotes or stories about. Because I love hearing these kinds of things, whether they're positive or negative, but just a window into these people.
Well, I mean, I've been around for 50 years doing this, so I've met everybody. When people say, "Have you ever heard of so-and-so?" and I go, "Yeah, of course." You know, I've shared the stage with everybody, you know.
All right. Or Franklin Delano Roosevelt, please give us a story.
What a guy he was.
Was he? Yeah. And I bet you beat him in the relay, which was good. He could barely get past the starting. No, but what about gotta ask the always the usual, the Dylan.
Yeah, I met Dylan.
And
he called me up. He heard a song of mine on Vince Skelsa's show, It Eats Delight, and called me up at 3 a.m. to talk about the song.
What song?
It was White Lightning from my first record. And I didn't think it was really him, but he gave me an address to meet him the next day at a studio, Montana Studios, I think it was, in the 50s on the west side. And I went up the next day and it was him. And we ended up hanging out and playing a bunch. And then he invited me backstage at Radio City Music Hall. I went backstage. I got to meet Lou Reed and George Harrison, which was a big thrill.
Yeah, you have met. Wow, did you ever play with Lou Reed or with George Harrison?
No.
No. Any of the Beatles? Did you ever?
Just George. I met. That's
met
the only one.
Okay, but good. The names that you're bringing. Well, when you're 50 years in the business, right?
Yeah.
And were there people that were nobody when you first met them, or
oh yeah,
and are now like who?
Like Lyle Lovett, Suzanne Vega, John Gorka, Christine Lavin, the whole crew, Patty Larkin, Bill Morrissey.
Wow.
We were all in a little boat together.
Now,
Don Colvin.
Now, how in that year, because that was that certain era of that next folk, because you had the 60s
Right.
folk thing and it died down. But then there was, and Tracy Chapman and these people sort of revived folk for a time.
Right.
Well, not that it's ever really gone away, but there's a difference.
No, that's what happened was Fast Car and Luca brought all the record companies down to the village.
So how did you, as a group, even though you loved each other, even though you supported each other, how do you keep from being also jealous and they've got the record deal or A&M's got Vega and they've got this and how do you keep that from
that did occur, but we weren't nasty about it. At this point, like I was doing a tour when the pandemic broke out with John Gorka, Patty Larkin, Cheryl Wheeler, and Christine Lavin, and we were touring like 1,000-seaters. We were doing big halls. And the thing is, there are no more record companies anymore. There's no agencies to be signed to, and there's no business really. So there's nothing to fight for. There's no more brass rings,
There's just come to our concerts and give us a living so we can eat, essentially. Yeah. Oh.
What happened was at the time that we were all getting signed in the late 80s and early 90s, there was a lot of jealousy by people that the record companies passed by. And, I lost a lot of friends.
Oh. It is what it is. Everybody can be loving and supportive when they're on the same level. But as soon as there's like, Gollum goes for the gold, and
right.
But I have a very important Cheryl Wheeler question.
Okay.
You mentioned her. This is. Please tell me, that in concert she's still doing the Potato Song. Is she doing?
Sure.
Yes. Oh, thank God.
We had to learn harmony of that, so that I had to phonetically learn that song.
That's the only way, because you keep thinking of potato with the accent on the, potato.
Right.
If you think of that, you can't do it. It's really difficult.
When we did this tour 20 years ago, we had a tour bus, and it was funny to hear me, Patty, and John trying to sing potato harmony to that, potato, potato, potato.
This is his favorite song. There you
go.
The mascot of the program. So we were just kind of. I'm sorry I could go far afield on that, but you mentioned Cheryl Wheeler. I had to bring that up. But you did have a label. Speaking of labels, you were on Red House Records at a time when there really weren't a lot of record labels at all. So you got lucky in that sense.
I was originally on Windham Hill. My first record was Windham Hill.
Yeah.
And then I had 2 on Shanachie. Now You're My Home at Melissa Cafe, and then I had 5 on Red House.
Right. And now, your recent album, New Things, that's on what label?
My own record company.
So are you even pressing CDs? Are you doing? Yeah,
pressing CDs.
Great, cool. And how can people, if they go to,
they go to my website, cliffeberhardt.net.
cliffeberhardt.net. Who took the .com?
Who knows? Somebody offered it to me for a lot of money, so
they should be killed. This is not fair. You should ever have, but you're not. You're cliffeberhardt.net, and by the way, it's the Germanic thing, HARDT, cliffeberhardt.net. And I should write that down so I can tell people. Cliff Eberhardt. This also will list where you're playing. For example, that you're going to be in Patchogue outdoors next Sunday, July 11th. And it's a lot easier to say cliffeberhardt.net than Down by the Creek House Concerts at gmail.com. Get involved. I mean, seriously. But seriously. So, do you already know the set list that you'll do, or 2 hours before you go? Boo, 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 boo?
No, I make it up as I go along, depending on the audience.
Really? Right. I mean, yeah. I would be scared to do it that. I would maybe have a list of 15 songs and then rejigger the cross one out if I felt, let's do that. But you're just you're ready to whatever.
I mean, if I'm playing with other people, I have a set list so that they know what's coming next. But there's always somebody that wants a request, so it always gets changed around anyway.
Do you mind? And I ask this all the time, and they always say never. I love it. It's fantastic. Do you mind when you kind of have to do your face?
No, I love it.
Hey, there you go. Because there's always like, oh, it was on my first album, and I've done 150,000 songs since then. But oh, they were only your face. Da, 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 da. And it's like, God damn it, pick another song. But no, you don't mind.
It's new to me every night. You put yourself in an emotional place when you sing a song. It takes on different meaning as you get older. I don't even remember what I wrote it about, but.
What about your face? I mean, it's
somebody's face.
Face, yeah. So let me ask you, what is the greatest gig that you've ever played and the worst hell gig that you ever had?
Well, I loved playing at the Bottom Line. That was my favorite club. I did some, I was Richie Havens' guitar player for a while. And then after that, we did shows together where I would open the show. And that was my favorite, was touring with Richie.
Do you have any Richie Havens? We wanted to get him on the program a few years ago, but he already was kind of health-wise going downhill, and that's what they told us. Maybe he just hated me, which I understand.
No, he had struggles towards the end.
But how would you give us a Richie Havens story since you toured with him?
Yeah, I probably loved him more than anybody I've ever loved in my life as far as a musician and mentor goes. He was incredibly good to me and crazily nice. But we did a show, we did a tour, a Woodstock reunion tour in Italy with the band and Canned Heat and Melanie, and I played guitar for all of them.
Whoa!
Yeah, I got to play with the band every night, which was pretty nice.
But not too shabby. Robbie Robertson, Garth Hudson.
No,
were they all alive?
Robbie was gone by then. This was 1989.
Yeah, but still.
But
yeah.
It was in Pistoia, Italy.
Yeah. And
we got in the night. Richie and I drove from Rome the night before, and neither one of us could sleep. And Richie wanted to go outside to,
Right.
So we go out, and dawn is just happening. It's dark, but just dawn was just starting to rise up. The sun was starting to rise up, and we're sitting on a park bench at the head of a trail that led to the woods. And all of a sudden, this old African American gentleman walks out of the woods towards us, and it's Cab Calloway.
Are you sure you weren't like,
No, I wasn't. I wasn't smoking. Richie was.
Yeah.
But he comes out of the woods and he turns to Richie and he goes, "Why, you're Richie Havens." And Richie just turned to me and went, "Far out." And we get to the festival the next day, and Cab Calloway's on stage in his white tuxedo singing Minnie the Moocher, and Richie gets out of the bus with me and he goes, "Oh my God, I thought he was dead." And I said, "Did you think that you were talking to the ghost of Cab Calloway last night?" He went, "Yeah, man."
Wow. Let me ask you though, because I've been watching the documentary on Netflix or one of them has this series documentary about the Grateful Dead and how drugs did amazing things for them, but also at a certain point, drugs were just destroyed everybody. Almost destroyed them. So how did you, with 50 years in the music business and touring with hippies and touring with people did you partake, or was it tough not to? Because at a certain point, there was cocaine lines on the table if you went to a party.
Yeah, I dabbled in the 80s.
Yeah, but you never.
But my job was always more important to me than anything else, and I saw people lose their jobs and lose their status by doing a lot of drugs. So that was it.
So you never, it never became out. Nothing. You just kind of kept on even keel, which is you're still here 50 years later, playing music and have all your senses and wits about you.
I don't know if that's true, but
maybe that's right. But we didn't get to the hell gig yet. So what was the worst gig you ever played?
It was at the Melody Tent in Hyannis, Massachusetts. I opened for Huey Lewis.
Oh, that's news. Okay.
Clever boy. And I'd played there twice before. I'd opened for Emmylou Harris, and that went great. And I opened for Nancy Griffith, and that went great. But these tents have revolving stages.
Like Westbury.
Yeah, we played there. I played there with Emmylou. And so the last thing they wanted was an acoustic opening act for Huey Lewis, So the guy gets up on stage to announce me, and he says, "And now folk singer Cliff Eberhardt." and the booze start coming, and then the glasses of ice and
No.
oh yeah, and the stage starts, and this guy comes up to the stage and he's following the stage around, going, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you," the whole time I was on, and I was being paid $2,000 for the gig, so I only had to do 4 songs, and after every song I'd go $500. And then at the end, I gave him a double and walked off the stage and never played there again.
Well, that's one. I love that story. That's hilarious. But the $500 is brilliant. That's great. Now, what you wouldn't figure with Huey Lewis setting? Who would figure? I mean, I understand if you were opening for Metallica, and then people are waiting for that, and there you are. They'd probably be more respectful in a manner. Iron.
Well, it was a very conservative audience. These were all golfers and wealthy people that came to that show.
And it was those kinds of people who were giving you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. That was.
That's the only time that ever happened to me.
Well, good. Thank God. I mean, well, other times. So we talked about touring with Richie Havens. Was there a moment, whether it was on stage playing or a songwriting moment, that you feel was the pinnacle of your career as a singer, songwriter, musician? Like you just stood there and I need to appreciate this.
I think I did used to do these telethons up in Toronto for the CBC, and they'd have a bunch of guest artists on. And one year, it was like 1985 or 86, they had Buffy St. Marie was on, and Buffy ended up singing one of my songs that she had heard through Sean Colvin. And I went up to Buffy and I said, "Thanks for singing my song." And she said, "That's not your song. Sean Colvin wrote that song." And I went, "No, she does that song, but it's my song." And she went, "Wow, I just recorded it." So I found out I had my first cut. And I was really looking when I came to New York to be a songwriter much more than a performer or a recording artist. I wanted a publishing deal and, that whole thing. So
how did you morph? How did you? Because a lot of people want to be big stars, or they want to be their face on the album cover. They want to be the Dylan thing. But you were kind of, how did it go from, I'm going to just, like in Nashville, I'll write a bunch of songs for other people, and how did then you get the
because publishers were saying the only way you're going to get cuts is if you start playing out. So I would do shows.
All right.
And I ended up getting a lot of cuts, but not enough to support myself because they're all album cuts. None of them were hits. And, then the record companies came around because I had a really good band and we were selling out clubs. And that's what makes record companies happy, is when there's a line outside the club.
So I still don't, and forgive me for not understanding the interstices of the music business, but you had these albums on Red House, you had the album on Windham Hill, and what did you say, Shanachie was the other one you were on? So do you still get like a tiny check when one of those sells, or one of those is on Spotify?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so that's good. So
quarterly, I'm not for the record sales, but for radio and for publishing, I get
good.
I've never received a royalty check from any record company.
Really?
Yeah, I should write a book about it.
Yeah, isn't that not legal? Aren't you entitled?
Not legal, but to audit them or to sue them costs more than you would make.
Right. But if something of yours is played on what iTunes is called music or whatever they have, like
I get money.
Listen, and did you live for like a year or two of Heartbeat of America?
Oh yeah, I lived for 4 or 5 years off of that.
McMazel, McGlick.
Well, I did a lot of commercials. I also did Diet Coke and Cherry Coke, Ford trucks.
So what song did you do for like Cherry Coke? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was new Cherry Coke. It's out and outrageous.
Out and outrageous. Did you write that, or did you sing it, or?
No, those were all written by Robin Bateau.
Oh, wait, from Buskin and Bateau?
Yeah, they were both jingle writers.
I forgot about that. Well, cool. Well,
that's why Robin lives in Westport, Connecticut now.
Because he wrote those jingles, and now he can live in the.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get from being this New Yorker and playing at all those clubs in the bottom line? When did you make the Massachusetts move?
I moved up here in 94.
Oh, yeah.
My rent went through the roof. The clubs were closing. You know, I had an agent, a record company, and a publisher at that point. So I really didn't need to be in New York. And I always wanted to have my own recording studio. So I couldn't do that in New York. So I moved up here.
And you're not so far from New York that you can't take a long drive and do a gig like
I'm going to Long Island. I'm taking the train from here.
Wait. So from not Metro North, what the hell goes up to where you are?
Amtrak.
Well, Amtrak, and then you'll hit. Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. So let me also ask you. By the way, we're talking with Cliff Eberhardt, who is two things. First of all, next Sunday, July 11th, he will be at the. It was an outdoor house concert thing. So there's no, you have to email to get the address of where you're going to stand outside. Right. But you can do that by going to Down by the Creek House Concerts at gmail.com, or better yet, go to the website.
Those photos, Rabbi.
What?
Yes, behind Cliff.
Yeah, there's Dave's wife is mentioning that we put up these beautiful photos of you.
No, the picture frames behind him.
Oh, she's talking about the all these photos, these paintings behind you. Were those? Yeah. Did you paint them? Are they from thrift?
No, they're from my parents, most of them.
Oh, God, they're very nice. It's a very nice scene you have there. But I want to say Cliff Eberhardt.net. Cliff Eberhardt, HARDT.net. So we're going to put that in our little chat box so people can click and find out more about all your albums and your music and where you'll be playing. Because, yes, next Sunday you'll be in Patchogue, but you'll be doing the East Coast and lots more dates to come, God willing, if the Delta variant doesn't
right.
So tell us, though, about what have you, like when you're on the train or when you're driving somewhere, what are you listening to? What's on your Spotify and iPad or iWhatever?
Well, I don't stream because it's a political thing because I don't get paid very much for them. I had 60,000 hits on one song. Last quarter, I got $4.
Well, all right. Okay.
So I have a lot of I listen to a lot of Tim Panelli type recordings.
On a CD or what?
Ella Fitzgerald and
on a CD or a record or what?
No, I have them on my phone.
Oh, so you are okay. You're not download, but you're listening to these. So Ella Fitzgerald and who else?
Oh, all kinds of people. You know, everything by Harold Arlen and Cole Porter and Irving Berlin. That era of songwriters I listen to a lot.
Oh, and this we didn't really touch on this. People might be surprised at what you grew up with. Really, was a lot of show tunes.
Yeah, I still listen to a lot of show tunes.
Rodgers and Hammerstein. And so what's your favorite, at least recording-wise, your favorite show?
My Fair Lady.
Because the lyrics and why?
The lyrics are genius. You know, just the lyrics alone are genius, and the music is fantastic.
And people might not know that you yourself created music for a Shakespeare production. What was that like?
Well, I've done two.
You're briefly in it. Yeah.
I actually did one in 2019 for the same director that did Shrew. We did one out at the Getty Villa in Malibu, which was great. That I got to live out there for 4 months.
Whoa! So you did Taming of the Shrew, a few years ago, where you created certain songs because it was a country western sort of modern. It looked like a lot of fun. Quite honestly.
It was a lot of work to do that. You know, you have to write every day for a year. They put you on salary for a year.
Oh, all right.
And I go to work like I'm going to a job. You know, I go into a coffee shop every day for 4 hours, read the play over and over and over again.
Well, it wasn't a musical. You didn't have to write like 12 or 20 songs.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. And I played music. Besides the songs, I played music throughout, you know, on different instruments.
Got it. So how was the one in 2019? Which play did you do then?
It was an update. It was a modern version of a Sophocles play.
Oh. There once was a man called Oedipus Rex. He had a very odd complex. He's listing up in Freud's index because he loved his mother. No, so which play was it?
It was Philoctetes.
The guy with a bad foot.
Yes.
Yes. What? Oh God! What did you write about that?
It was called The Heel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs from it on my new album. a lot of songs about being wounded and about how pain enters people's lives and controls their lives.
Now, why did you go? Was it the past? What made you go there? Did you have sudden tragedies and terrible things happening to you? Why there?
I was in a serious car accident 20 years ago that took me about 10 years to finally get a handle on everything. So I had really severe pain in my back and my neck for 10 years.
Get involved. How did you not get hooked on opioids, let alone?
I did.
So see, you avoided all the drugs in the 60s and the 70s, only to have a bad back and then get addicted later on.
But what happened was my second operation worked, and I woke up and I was pain-free, and I just went cold turkey that day.
Yeah, mazel tov. That's wonderful. That's congratulations, mit mazel. But okay, so 20 years ago, this happened to you. It was terrible. Why the most recent album so heavy, dark?
It's not dark.
Oh, okay.
It's about learning things through pain, you know? I mean, in the play, he learns a lot by having this bad foot, you know? He learns to trust again. He learns to believe again, you know? So I was able to incorporate what I went through and relate it to this character.
That's pretty. How did the show go? How was it?
It was great. It's great.
Do you like, or is it too much work at this? Would you rather just go do a show, do a gig, 75, 90 minutes on stage, or do a play musical on stage 6, 7 times a week?
8 times a week.
Oh, you were doing 8 hours. Wow, yeah, like Broadway. So, which did that get tiring after a while? And it's like, oh, it's the same.
No, I loved it. I loved it. It's very challenging to me because it's putting me out of my element. Like when I go on stage, I can talk for 10 minutes if I want and then go into a song. Here, the lighting cue hits you and you have to be in the song immediately.
True.
So, and plus I'm writing for other people. I'm not writing for myself. So I like it. It's a stretch. It's creative and it makes me think creatively in a different way. So I love doing them. I do another one in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah. So anybody's adapting Euripides or
I don't know.
It could be like Ben Jonson. Where's it? So let me ask you, what is the easiest song you've ever written? What's the song that you wrote in like 5 minutes? Just boom, there it was. And sometimes
most of them.
Really.
Yeah, most of them I get 90% done at one sitting, but then I edit for months.
Really? And are there other songs? Are there occasional other ones that you put away for, that's impossible? You think you're going to have it, and then it's forget it, and then you pick it up 5 years later, and it's I can save it. Really, yeah. Yeah,
White Lightning, that song that Dylan called me about, took me about 10 years to write.
Why is it like that? Is it just?
I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to tie the song together. And then I'll tell you a story about that. I was driving a taxi in New York. I drove a taxi for 7 years in New York. And I was waiting for my cab, and the idea started coming to me. And I ran across the street to the White Horse Tavern on Hudson.
Yeah.
And I'm madly writing in my notebook, and the waiter comes up and says, "Did you choose this booth on purpose?" I said, "Why?" And he said, "This is the booth Dylan Thomas died in."
Whoa.
So I finished that song in that booth.
Yeah. Were you drinking milk wood? That's a terrible joke. Don't even go.
No, I was drinking coffee, actually.
But no, I mean, your life in some ways has been serendipitous like that. But have you written any songs based on your, Harry Chapin obviously did, but did you write any songs based on people in your taxi over 7 years?
Harry never drove a cab.
Oh, he just wrote about it. He's still in your life. No, well, no.
I always take many different life experiences to put into songs. It's never specifically about one person or one event. I try to get outside of the diary.
And so it's just you're kind of observing the people around you, but not any. Are there songs about, you obviously don't mention names, but specific people like, I put their story in this number?
Yeah, I mean, I've written a couple of revenge songs, and I regret, those are the only songs I regret writing,
Oh,
when I was mad at
who
somebody.
did you wrong, and then you
Yeah.
got at them, you dug at them. So do you mind saying what an example is? You don't have to mention names of the actual people.
There's a song called Good Example that was on 12 Songs of Good and Evil, and a song called Where Did You Go to School that was on School for Love. You know, there were exes that I thought wronged me, and it was just stupid for me to do that. I mean, the power of song is strong, and you shouldn't use it as a weapon, is what I feel.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's it's like the one song supposedly that Dylan regrets was Ballad in Plain D. It's like he probably should have left that one off the fourth album just because it was a little too, up with the mother-in-law and all that.
Well, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue is a pretty nasty song, but I love it.
Well, no, that's like that. Of course. Now, before we bring in our panelist actually, I better bring her in because otherwise we might lose her because she tends to have these issues. But with tech, Cliff Eberhardt, I wanted to ask you. I lost my thing. You teach songwriting.
Yes.
I mean, there's a natural gift or there isn't. What can you or do you teach?
I generally teach melody, where I'll take an existing song that somebody has written, because people are so protective of their lyrics. It's like, it's very hard to edit somebody's lyrics. They get very protective of them. And so what I do is I take a song and I'll say, instead of playing it like this, let's insert this chord or this interval to make the melody more beautiful.
Hmm. And are they more receptive? It's funny, they're more receptive to having the melody change as opposed to like, the words. I mean, these were from my heart and soul, but melody is like, well, I thought of it. Oh, you're going to throw in a D minor. Okay, that works. So
well, they don't usually do that, but the rest of the class sees how much better it is. And so then they get convinced that probably, they're like, I like the melody the way it was. And I'm like, well, why do you hear that?
That's why you're. So, well, are you defensive? Do you play things over the past 10 years for Louise and ask for her thing? Or is like, no, she's not part of that. These are your songs. And, you'll find out.
I mean, I went through years of working with publishers, and that was pretty brutal, but I learned a lot. Like my best songwriting lesson was Tom Paxton used to come to open mics down in the Village when I first got there. We became friends. One time I played a real navel-gazing, I'm so sorry for myself song, And Tom said to me, look, kid, I don't want you to sing me your diary. I want you to sing me my diary.
That's a great line.
I never wrote the same again.
That's pretty. And by the way, people should know we're going to be mentioning this later, but Tom Paxton is going to be playing sort of locally. I think he's in Virginia on the 7th. So he's a friend of the Daverhood. He's been on the program a couple of times. So we're very honored that he
lives in Virginia.
Oh, so that makes sense. He's going to be in Annandale, I think, doing something. So
that's where he lives.
Yeah. But by the way, everybody go see, if you're on Long Island, of course, please go see our brand new friend of the Daverhood, Cliff Eberhardt, next Sunday. Is it an evening or is it an afternoon? I'm sorry, I don't.
It's 3 p.m.
3 p.m. outdoors. It's a house concert, backyardy kind of a thing. Where exactly is it in Amagansett? I can't tell you. But
no, it's in Patchogue.
I'm sorry, Patchogue. I got confused with Annandale. Forgive me. Patchogue. Down by the creek, house concerts at gmail.com. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be in Patchogue. I'm going to go to this Cliff Eberhardt concert. How do I buy tickets? Where is it? And then they'll email you back with the information. That's really the only way you can do it. That's how these things have been working for a very long time for artists, the house concert thing. But for more about Cliff Eberhardt, it's cliffeberhardt.net is the place to go for that. Now, we should be starting momentarily the today-yesterday trivia quiz with the host of this program, Dave Lefkowitz. Look who's coming here. This is the lovely Leslie Hoban Blake, who is setting herself up. Now, Leslie, I'm going to be playing a little bit more of Cliff Eberhardt music, which is good because that person that you're seeing on the screen is Cliff Eberhardt, the musician, the songwriter, the dobro player. Very important there. So we're going to play a little bit of transitional music here from Cliff Eberhardt while Dave Lefkowitz comes and takes over. Cliff, first of all, let me say thank you very, very much for being with us and for staying with the show. Don't go away, Cliff, because you're playing the game with Dave, and with hopefully David Sheward will be logging on too. But for now, you see that face? That's the face that wrote your face on Dave's Gone By, which is not playing. What the hell's wrong with my music? Damn it. There we go.
See you, Solly.
Month of Sunday, 2 weeks from Tuesday, halfway across the country this time. Always your face appears in my dream, brings me back home
Who is this?
tonight. Always your face in my memory.
Oh, John.
I don't feel alone tonight.
So yeah, a bit of Cliff Eberhardt singing with John Gorka. It's a Cliff Eberhardt song called Your Face, which is on his first album, Long Road Home. The Long Road, forgive me. And he's got a bunch of other albums, including the new album called New Things, K-N-E-W Things. Plus, he'll be playing in Patchogue. So thank you so much for talking to Rabbi Saul, Cliff Eberhardt, and thank you for sticking around to play our weekly trivia game. You will be playing against our regular panelists. You've sort of already met the director and the theater critic, Leslie Hoban Blake. How you doing, Leslie? Oh, wait, well,
Leslie's muted.
unmute. You can, well, unmute time.
You can unmute her.
Can I unmute her?
Howdy muty
Ask her to
time.
unmute.
Yeah.
It's howdy muty time.
Well, meanwhile, while Leslie's doing the unmute,
There she goes.
oh, there she goes. Hello, Leslie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I
How are you?
plugged- Huh? What?
I say, how are you? Leslie just said hi, Cliff. But how are you, Leslie?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for asking.
What's
I
the-
love your background, Cliff. Your music and your background. Lovely.
It was really lovely.
So, Les, what are you doing on July 4th besides this? Well, change July 3rd.
I'm one of those people who I'm going to stay home. I'm not looking forward to the crowds that are going to come out for that. I used to have a terrace, and I used to stand on the terrace and watch everything from the terrace. But now it's all on the east side anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm on the Hudson River. It's on the East River, so I probably won't see any of it. I'll watch it on TV.
But Leslie,
Where do you live?
Sure.
Where do I live? I live in River Place on 42nd and 12th.
Oh, wow. I lived
Yeah,
in New
it's
York
wonderful.
for 20 years, so
Where did you live when you were in New York?
mostly Little Italy and the East Village.
Yeah, I lived over there too, but I'm in Hell's Kitchen now. It's called moving on up.
Right.
Well, you're to the west side, but you do have a deluxe apartment, not quite in the sky.
In the sky.
I'm on the 35th floor. That's pretty much in the
Wow.
sky. Come on.
But Leslie, you're not going to Coney Island tomorrow to watch Joey.
I was gonna enter the contest, but I thought better of it.
Leslie weighs 2 pounds. She can't.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless you. You know, from the neck up, I weigh 2 pounds. From the neck down, I won't even tell you. But yes, thank you.
Now, speaking of the neck up,
Joyce.
that's all we're seeing of David Sheward at that. There we go. Hello, David. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. David, I should mention, is the former president of the Drama Desk. He is a writer and theater critic. He blogs for The David Desk, as well as for Cultural Daily and Theater Life. So how was your week, David Sheward? Your school's over. What you up to?
Oh, well, let me see. What am I up to? I have a new review. I actually saw a show digitally, and I am going to see a show live next week for the first time, a live indoor show with more than one actor.
Which is it? Is it Camp Morningwood or which is it? No?
I am going to be seeing Fruma Sarah with Jackie Hoffman.
Where?
It's this little off Broadway theater on 23rd Street.
Oh, at the Cell. I love the Cell.
The Cell, yes, and it
Yeah.
should be very amusing. It sounds amusing. It's the premise.
I realize Jackie lives across the street. I used to live
Oh.
across the street. She was my neighbor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying to get her for years on the show, and she's been, too busy.
The premise is that she plays a community theater actress who is playing Fruma Sarah in a community production of Fiddler on the Roof.
Don't tell me she gets knocked on the head and it all comes through or something.
I don't know. And the play is her waiting backstage and her dialogue with the person operating her flying apparatus. So it should be interesting.
Well, let me ask John Gorka. You mentioned to Rabbi Saul that your favorite musical of all time was My Fair Lady. Where's Fiddler on that list?
I'm Cliff Eberhardt, not John Gorka.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I saw that. I saw his little thing there. It says Cliff.
I'm sorry. Could you give John
naughty.
I'm sorry, Cliff.
I'm actually speaking with John Gorka today, but I won't be him. I play him on TV.
Yeah. I'm just going to walk away from that question entirely. I'm sorry.
You think that's a good idea?
Oh boy, look at me blushing red. So let's get right to the quiz, shall we?
All right.
You match that ribbon on the back of your set there. You actually turned that color for a second.
I really did. I'm like, oh, that's. Hey, there are worse things, bits of embarrassment in my life. That was nothing, Leslie. If you've ever seen The Miracle of Long Johns, you know.
I know. But it's interesting because I do this all the time. I'll say something like my good friend and then my mind blanks. And I can't come up with the name of the good friend. So I know exactly what that's like.
Yeah. I mean, there are times I have to sing the happy birthday song just to remember my own name. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give John Cliff.
I mean, the name is right there. It says iPad 5, Cliff Eberhardt.
Cliff, it will now happen forever when he talks to you. He will always call you John.
Yeah.
It will never not happen. So
It's better than shithead.
His name is iPad 5. I don't know why.
Yeah, there you go. It's iPad 5 Eberhardt. Cliff. There are rules to this game, believe it or not. So here's the deal. Here's what it is.
Rule number 1: remember the contestant's name. Then go on from there. I'm enjoying this, David. I'm sorry. I'm really enjoying it.
Well, she is, because I get to ask all these questions.
That's right. He comes up with the craziest questions.
And then, but I'm like the big moderator. I never have to answer them. I look like, oh, well, I've got the answers in front of me. These are simple. And now I can't even remember them. So Cliff and Leslie and David. So here are the rules. It's a trivia quiz with 9 questions plus a tiebreaker that we end up doing anyway. And they're all involved in history in the sense that everything we're asking about happened on July 3rd. Since today is July 3rd, so it could have been 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 10 years ago. All these trivia questions happened on July 3rd. So each question is worth 2 points. If you get it right, you're welcome to get it wrong. There's no penalty. But if you get it wrong, one of the other contestants gets a chance to steal and get those 2 points. So my first question for you, Gorka Eberhardt, is you didn't smile at me, damn it. All right, so can you please pick a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is?
4.
Okay, Cliff with a 4. Leslie Hoban Blake, noblesse oblige, what number would you choose?
Today I would like 2, please.
You would like 2 for Leslie, and then David Sheward, do you have a number preference?
Let's see. 4. Cliff's is 3.
Cliff is 4.
4.
John Gorka has 3.
He has 4, huh? I'll say 5.
Sure has 5. Here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is roll a die, but it's a digital die. It's just a website, rolladie.net, where I'm going to click the roll, and the die comes up number 1, which is closest to, thank you. It's the internet. We can show everything. So Leslie, I got my.
Would you like me to leave the room while I blow my nose? I'm sorry.
No, I do all that. In fact, I'm panicking. My hanky isn't here. Anywho, Leslie, with the number 2, you're closest to the number 1. So would you like to go first, second?
Oh, yes, first, please.
Leslie wants to go first. Okay. So we're going to roll the
Because
dice.
I never get to go first. David always winds up going first. I like going first.
Well, David now, because I just rolled a 5, gets to choose whether he wants to go second or third.
I'll go second.
David Sheward goes second, and Cliff Eberhardt, you will be third. So there's going to be 3 rounds of questions, okay? And we'll go through the 3 rounds, and by the end of the 3rd round, we may know who the winner is, or we might need the tiebreaker. But we do the tiebreaker anyway. It's all just in fun. So Leslie, are you ready for question numero 1?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
In 1596.
Actually, you're only 12 years off. The first
Okay.
question goes back to 1608.
Oh, wonderful. I knew the 1596 answer. I don't know the 1608.
Well, on this day, July 3rd, 1608, Samuel de Champlain founds the city of Quebec. Which of these is true about Quebec? Okay. Is it A, is a multiple choice? The 1976 Montreal Summer Olympics were the only 1970s Olympics to turn a profit. B, in an average year, Quebec produces almost as much maple syrup as Vermont. C, the Fairmont Chateau Frontenac is known as the world's most photographed hotel. Or D, Quebec cuisine has its own version of shepherd's pie called pâté française patate. One of these is
Very
true.
funny. J'adore Quebec. J'adore Montreal. Okay, those are, I
Right.
got to say that. Shout out to Montreal. Now then, this is what's true.
What is true?
is
Only
true.
one of these is true.
Okay, the arena from the 76 was still up the last time I went, but then I went 100 years ago, so that's sad. I'm not sure about the patate. The Frontenac, everybody's been to the Frontenac, my God. Even I have been to the Frontenac. And
I was in the Bacchanal. Yeah.
and I've forgotten, oh, the maple syrup. Okay, so
So yeah.
just bear with me a second, okay?
Sure.
Say the name of that dish with the patate one more time.
Its own version of shepherd's pie called pâté française patate.
And only one of these is true.
Only one of these is true.
I'm going to say that it's the Frontenac. It's the most photographed hotel or whatever in the world.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, Leslie Hoban Blake, you have a Frontenac for answering the question correctly. Well done.
Yay.
That is
Woo!
considered the most photographed hotel of all. I'll give you a little bit of trivia about the rest of them. In terms of the Olympics, all the Olympics in the 70s lost money, and it took Montreal 30 years to finally pay
I
off.
vaguely knew something about that. Yeah.
And Quebec produces 8 million gallons of syrup.
Oh.
Vermont produces less than 1 million annually. And their shepherd's pie is called pâté chinoise because it had to do with Chinese cooks were feeding French laborers who were building the railroad. So
That is so Quebec, you know.
merde, and other
Ouais,
words like
ouais.
So, Leslie Hoban Blake, you are on the board with 2, count them, I will count them, 1, 2 points. David Sheward, you get the next question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What are you putting on your shoehorn? What are you doing over there?
Let me just finish folding my laundry. Okay, go ahead.
Here we go. Yeah, it's not like you're on a TV show or anything. This next question goes directly to David Sheward for 2 points. The year was 1767, excuse me.
Okay.
1767. founded today in Trondheim, is the Adresseavisen newspaper. It went through some name changes, but it's the oldest still publishing paper in Norway. Which of these is not true about Norway? Is it A, back in the 9th century, their first king was Harald Fairhair, named for his amazing hair? B, the current king and queen of Norway have been married for more than 50 years? C, Miss Norway 1990 referred to herself as, quote, the beauty queen from hell? Or D, in 2008, a knighthood was bestowed on Erik Larson, the king's horse?
Which of these is not true?
Which of these is not true? All of these are true but one.
They all sound like they could be true. The beauty queen from hell. I love that. That's really good. So my choices are, let's see. The first king was Harold the Fair-Haired.
Right.
The king and the current king and queen have been married for 50 years. The beauty queen from 1990 something referred to herself as the beauty queen from hell. And what was the last one?
In 2008, a knighthood was bestowed on,
on
I think it's Erik Larson, the king's horse.
Oh, those all sound like very plausible. Let's see. So it's a total guess at this point. I think it's not. I think the beauty queen from hell is too funny to be true, to be false. I think that's true. I think that the current king and queen have been married for 49 years or something, or 51 years or something. Maybe that's it.
Well, I will be fair. The question is, have been married for more than 50 years.
Oh, okay. And the first one was about the fair. I mean, I think I've heard something about that, but maybe it wasn't Norway. Oh, you know what? It's a guess. It's a total guess. I'm going to say the first one because maybe it's, Jeffrey the Fair-Haired or Dennis the Fair-Haired.
He was a menace, Is that your final answer?
Yeah, just a guess.
Well, we may give you a head with hair, but that is not the correct answer because Harold Fairhair was in fact the first back in the 9th century. So we get to roll the die, and one of the other two contestants can steal this question. It comes up Leslie's number. We rolled the die with number 2.
Whoa! I'm so glad I came. Yes.
Well, you might build on your lead here. So, Leslie, do you want to take this question?
You've never asked that before. Yes.
Well, do you want to try and win this question?
Of course, I want to take the question.
Yeah.
Cliff, have you figured out by now that although he says it's about the year and the day, it's never about that? It took us a while to figure that. Okay, good. All right, just so you know, he claims it's this, but it isn't. All right, go ahead. I get to guess. Okay, I knew Harold.
Again, if you want.
I knew Harold because my mother once told me that for some strange reason. She told me about that. Believe it or not. So the 3 that are left are the 6 over 50 years, the horse, and what was the third one?
And Miss Norway 1990.
Oh yeah. I would so love it to be the horse. I think that's so Norwegian. Like I really know anything about Norway. I know nothing about Norway.
This is
I watched Atlantic Crossing on PBS. That's the most I know about Norway, and that was about World War II.
This is what's a lie, not what's the truth.
Right. Remember that, Leslie. You're picking out which of these is not true.
It's not true. No, I know that. I'm saying I wish I would love the horse to be true.
Oh. That's what
actually in Norway they don't ride horses anymore. They all drive a fjord.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you have to put up with the bad pun.
You do.
I'm just filling you in, Cliff, as we go along.
Leslie's the mentor.
I try. I do my best. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Okay. All right. I can't help it. The beauty queen is beckoning. I'm going to say the beauty queen is not true, that she did not say that about herself. Somebody else might have said it,
Oh,
but I don't believe she said it about herself.
that would be the tricky thing.
Well, Leslie, you're going to Hades me for that, but that is true. She did actually bill herself as that, and I'll explain why when we get to the answer. But you've got a 50-50 shot, Cliff Eberhardt, to get on the board.
I
So
know the answer to this.
please.
Ooh.
John Gorka.
He was knighted
Gooba
Instead of the
Gabba,
horse.
Gooba Gabba, he is one of us.
instead of a horse.
Friend Will Noriega, I get it.
I'm so sorry.
Or I should
I
have
could
said
roll
Gooba
that
Gorga,
back.
Gooba Gorga. That would have been better.
Oh,
Ay, ay,
well
ay.
done, Cliff. Well, you got me.
Well done.
Fair enough.
I'm going to go with the horse.
So you're going to say that is not true, that they did not knight a horse named
That's what I'm saying.
Well, a horse is a horse, of course, and of course you are right, John Cliff.
Can you say that again?
Ah,
His
Can you say
name
you're right again?
on the screen. His
No, again, I
name-
don't see it isn't. I don't see it on this
Okay,
picture.
his iPad, and then it says his name.
I'm just gonna put the
Can't
word.
help it. The boy just can't help it.
yeah.
Participant. Click participant.
If I hadn't played that duet of them together, if I just Eberhardt song.
This man never appeared on screen, honey.
I know. No, I was watching the two of them in the video.
Oh, sure.
Annie, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not sorry, Cliff Eberhardt, because your compensation for my idiocy is that you just got on the board. You have 2 points. So well done.
Be still my beating heart.
Well, it's actually a cool thing because we do tell all our new contestants that this game, some of the questions are regular trivia, some are completely like just guess, and it is not easy. And to even get on the board is quite wonderful, and you should be very proud of yourself. In fact, I would run out in the streets of Massachusetts
Absolutely.
just telling everyone
Naked.
This might be the proudest moment I've ever had.
as well
And
as
do you accept this award, Cliff? Do you accept the award?
Nah.
on behalf of Buffy St. Marie. He's actually gonna,
On behalf of John Gorka, do you accept the award?
Oh, Jesus!
Oh.
Don't do it.
Okay, let's move forward because we do have here's the interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one made me laugh. Oh, God.
Cliff.
Oh,
Here's the
okay.
thing: you just stole 2 points on that question.
Whose turn is it?
It's Cliff's.
And it's your turn. Wow.
Ask away, Eddie.
You actually get the answer because we're going in order. The next
I got that one,
goes
Cliff. That
directly
was
to you.
funny.
So, are you ready for your question, Cliff Eberhardt? Kill me now. The year 1819.
The year I was born.
Was it really? I thought you were 1814. You look right.
1918.
No, this is 1819. 1819 is the year. Opening today is the Bank for Savings in the city of New York, the very first savings bank in America. What was their very first advertising slogan? Was it A, a bank for the poor, B, a bank for your benefit, C, saving in your interest, D, economy, independence, and thrift?
Read them again.
Of course, the choices are a bank for the poor, a bank for your benefit, B, C, saving in your interest, or D, economy, independence, and thrift.
I would be shocked that any bank would say a bank for the poor. What was the last one again?
The last one was economy, independence, and thrift.
I think I'll go with that one.
Is that your final answer?
I hate when you ask that. Yes.
I'm going to pop some tags, but thrift store's not right. I'm so sorry, John. So that is not the correct answer. That was not their slogan. We get a steal opportunity from our other contestants and from John Gorka, who's phoned in. So the number comes up. No, I'm kidding. Number 1. It'd be very funny if he calls you, put him on the air. So here's the number
This press
1.
agent will call and say, you know,
He's going to charge you. He's going to charge you a residual right for for using his name so often.
I am so sorry about this. But Leslie, the die rolled number 1. You chose number 2, so it's closest to you. You can steal this question. So,
Okay.
1819, the Bank for Savings in the City of New York. What was their slogan? A bank for the poor.
Am I allowed to ask the name of the bank? Because I think if it was the Immigrant Savings Bank, then I'll know the answer.
It's in the question, Leslie. It's the
Okay,
Bank for
okay,
Savings in the City of New York.
okay,
It's the name of the bank.
Yeah, it's not the slogan. It's the
okay. All right. It wasn't the slogan. So was it the poor, the something, and in your interest? What was the second one?
Is a bank for the poor, a bank for your benefit, saving in your interest.
Advertising was not what it came to be, was it? Those are really awful slogans, all of them.
Yeah.
I know you made one of them up at least, maybe all of them, I don't know.
Maybe Karen Stevens can work on it.
Right, right. But not John Hamm. This is not John Hamm's bank, by advertising agency by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to say, because I was an advertising copywriter once upon my life, I will say a bank in your interest, because at least it comes close to sounding like an advertising slogan that makes sense.
So I think it's a savings bank with interest. So a bank in your interest. Leslie, Hoban, Blake, that is a really interesting answer, but not the correct one. So, David Sheward, our champion from last week, he gets a chance to steal this question.
So it's a bank for the poor or
a bank for your benefit.
You know what? And it was 18, what? 19?
19 was the year.
19. You know something? Now, this occurs to me. What was the name of the advertising agency on
I
Mad
don't
Men?
remember.
I don't know.
Sterling, the name Sterling was in it.
Oh,
wasn't
I
it?
wonder if they ever competed for clients with McMahon and Tate on Bewitched. Anyway,
Just because he had white hair? Okay.
no, they were the same. It would have been the same era, the 1960s.
His name was Harold Whitehair because he had this beautiful hair.
Actually, that was the actor's name was David White, who played Larry Tate.
Joyce is reminding you, David, Bewitched was not real. Just so you know.
I know.
Batman was. Okay, so.
I think I'm going to say a bank for the poor. I'm going to go not for the obvious one. I think that since it was 1819, ideas of,
Political correctness, yes.
Yeah, and advertising rules probably didn't apply, and they probably wanted poor people. I'm going to say a bank for the poor. What the hell? Yeah, that was the rest of it. A bank for the poor. What the hell?
Well, those 2 points are richly deserved by David Sheward because you got it. Because it was a charitable idea.
Yay!
It was for laborers and workers and poor people to be able to put money away and make money. Just have it sitting there.
Now, what was the name of the bank? Do you have that down there?
Leslie, I'm telling you, the name of the bank was.
Oh, it was the New York Bank for Savings.
In the city. of
I'm
New York.
sorry.
Yeah.
I heard you say something, but it went right past me.
And
Sorry.
did you
Okay.
say that it was that hookers put their money in it?
What?
What? What?
Did you say hookers?
No.
You're a hooker?
I
No.
thought you said
That's
hookers.
great with you.
They were not poor. They were the only people who worked
Well, that's what
poor.
they call them now. Back then, yeah. Well, actually, the nickname. What? Sorry.
I thought you said hookers put their money.
No. No.
Poor people, David.
Poor. No, but
Poor.
laborers. I think I said.
And speaking of money, I'm glad you spent so much money on the set decorations.
Yes.
This
Today in
budget-
particular.
Yeah, that's the whole budget.
So Cliff, son of a bitch. If you can lend me some of those.
Listen, Paul, listen,
It is
Paul.
Cliff.
You should tell your guests that you don't even remember the names of your cousins.
Yeah, I don't remember
You don't
family
remember
members.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, Cliff.
family
But if you can
gathering.
loan me some of those
David
pictures behind
Had
you.
a family
I
gathering.
love the pictures, Cliff. I really like those.
I stole them all from the Louvre.
Oh.
I have a
What
big
did it-
overcoat.
One at a time, I assume, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or all at once.
Now here's the happiest news for me. I was just trying to get through this show now. Amazingly enough, we have a 3-way tie.
Oh.
We have a throuple, ladies and gentlemen, right here between Leslie and David Sheward and Cliff Eberhardt. 2 Yes, I got your name right this time. 2, each with 2 points as we move into round number 2. Oh, look at that. The Cliff is sipping water because of the exertion
It's
of
tequila.
this game. Here we go. Ooh.
I think it's
Well, that's a morning eye opener.
So we get to round 2, which begins with Leslie Hoban Blake. Are you ready, Leslie?
Yes, I am ready, sir.
The year 1890. Idaho becomes the 43rd state of the Union today, July 3rd. In 2004, speaking of Idaho, Ron Garatone, the mayor of the small town of Wallace, Idaho, made a proclamation. What did he proclaim? Is it A, that all women are heroes just for being women? B, that Wallace was the center of the universe? C, that potatoes should be eaten with every meal? Or D, that God appointed him mayor and only God could remove him from office?
Whoa. You never mentioned hookers?
He didn't mention hookers.
No, he did mention women though, and I'm sure that in Idaho they're sort of equivocal. So
Oh,
Actually, women don't like potatoes. Yeah.
equivalent. I meant equivalent, not equivocal. I said equivocal. I
Yeah.
meant equivalent. Sorry.
Joyce is saying Idaho one time, but
oh, I get it.
Right. It's in the title. It's in the name. Okay.
I get it.
I can read them again, Les. Do you want me
It's
to?
on the Ida.
Changing his name.
No, my feeling is that it's between that somehow they wanted to take him out of office, and that was his only God speech, or that potatoes should be eaten at every meal. I don't think the other two even are in the running. So now I have to go between God and potatoes.
Don't we all?
That's my choice every day: is
Yes,
God
exactly.
or potatoes. As God is my witness, I'll never eat a potato again.
Right on, Leslie. Right on. Okay.
Yes, it's all for you, potato. I'm going to say only God could take him out of office. It just sounds like a Trumpian kind of Idahoan thing to say. I hope you're not from Idaho, Cliff. I didn't catch.
I've
the
played
beginning
there,
of the show.
and I agree with your answer. It's very
Oh,
conservative.
I think so too. I think I've
thank
been to
you.
Idaho.
No guest has ever said that before. Thank you.
Well, Leslie, so your answer is about the one that he said is that God appointed him mayor and only God can remove him from office. Well, goddamn, Leslie Hoban Blake, that is not the right answer. I'm afraid.
Oh,
See, Cliff, that's it.
that.
That's the way it goes, Cliff. Easy come, easy go. That's the way it goes.
Well, I just rolled a number 2, so I've got to go to the bathroom real quick. But no, I'm kidding. The number 2 is Leslie's number, but it's closer to Cliff than to David. So Cliff.
We're playing this Tinkers to Evers to Chance thing here, Cliff. We're going, it's like I miss him and you get him. Okay.
Well, let's see,
luck.
Cliff, you stole the question in the last round. Can you steal this question about Idaho? And the mayor, Ron Garatone, in 2004, of the small town of Wallace, made a proclamation. What did he proclaim? Was it A, that all women are heroes just for being women? B, that Wallace was the center of the universe? Or C, that potatoes should be eaten with every meal?
I would find it hard to believe that anybody in Idaho would celebrate women. No offense to people in Idaho.
No, I understand.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's one of the scariest places I've ever played.
Wow. Why? I mean, what is it? Just conservative?
There were a lot of militia type people roaming about.
Idaho.
Really?
Yeah,
We've been to like Wyoming.
Middle America, baby. Middle America.
Well,
Idaho's one of the top
One of the West.
militia places.
Oh.
I will go with the center of the universe.
So you're saying that is what he said, is that he made a proclamation, quote, that Wallace was the center of the universe. Is that?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, sir, you say the truth. That is the correct answer. Well done. You just got right in the center of town, stood there and made that proclamation. And now there is a manhole cover that people flock to, that they designed very specially to commemorate that moment when he made that proclamation.
I thought you meant he turned into a manhole cover when he said it.
A manhole cover.
By the way,
pretty-
the only thing that he would ever have said about women is that I won't forget about women. Give me a good potato any day, because it's,
Well, most men would say, "No, I kid." But by the way,
well, you would, David, but I don't know about most men.
you are Cliff Eberhardt, absolutely.
I'm glad to know that I'm Cliff Eberhardt for a change.
Good job, David. Good job.
Thank you. But here's the idea: when people try to say or tell him, "No, Wallace, Idaho is not the center," they say, "Well, it's probabilism. You cannot prove that it isn't. Therefore, it is." That's like one sort of Greek weird philosophy thing. So if you can't prove it isn't, it is. So I kind of sort of dig that. Cliff Eberhardt is leading in the today-yesterday game here on Dave's Gone By.
That's the first.
I know. I don't think we've ever had a guest take the lead. Oh, maybe that's so. Yeah.
Didn't the woman with late night catechism, I forget her name, didn't she?
Oh,
Well, yeah, she did win the game, but that was like her second or third try. I think that she had been on the show a couple of times before. So
Late Night Catechism?
You must have heard of it. It's a show that started in Chicago. They've done it all over the country. It's a nun. A nun.
Does John do it? Isn't his John show?
and she's kind of making fun of, in a playful way, growing up Catholic and what Catholic ritual and stuff like that. It's a pretty well known.
Never heard of it.
Comedy thing. It's fun. It's really well done.
Very big hit on Broadway.
I'm sorry, what?
I said it was a long-running hit off Broadway.
Broadway, yeah. And it's still been, from the very beginning, it never really stopped in Chicago.
She's
until the
opening
pandemic.
up again in Chicago, right? She's got it running again in Chicago.
In the greenhouse, yeah.
She's got other nuns.
She not only she did it, Mary Pat Donovan did it for a bunch of years. She's been doing it now, and other nuns have. In fact, Rabbi Saul Solomon asked if he could play that, and she hasn't gotten back to him.
Beat him to death with the ruler.
Anywho,
Well, he has to pay us for it.
well, of course he has to get pay us for it. He's not going to do it for free.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
The next question goes to David Sheward in round 2 in our Today Yesterday quiz. Remember, all these things happen on July 3rd. We move all the way. It's a new question, but an old one. The year
Okay.
1996.
Okay.
After 700 years in England, where it was being used for coronations, this artifact was returned to its native Scotland today. Is it A, the Chair of Ayr, B, the Rock of Kilmarnock, C, the Ring of Stirling, or D, the Stone of Scone?
Well, I think you made up half of those, or three of them.
You say
The
it's
If not 3/4, yes.
Yeah, the chair of air that's just ridiculous.
Let me AYR, the Chair of Ayr.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was your HEIR.
Oh no, that'd be great. Like
Chair of air. All right, so the chair of air, the Rock of Warnock,
of Kilmarnock, yeah.
Kilmarnock, the
Ring of Stirling, or
Ring
the
of
Stone of Scone.
or the Stone of Scone, and
Yeah.
one of those things was sent back to Scotland,
Bingo.
so that I won't. I was thinking of the Scottish play, but I won't mention it because that's bad luck.
Why, are you living in a theater these days?
It's bad luck in general. It's bad luck in general. The Stone of Scone.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, first, what made you suddenly choose that?
Scone sounds Scottish. The other ones don't sound they sound kind of ridiculous, but that sounds like it could be real. So I'll say the stone. I'm going to say the Stone of Scone.
Well, sometimes I go for Danish, but David Sheward, you were right to pick the scone. It was indeed the Stone of Scone. David Sheward tying up the game.
I got to catch up
I
now.
thought it was tied.
Yes, I was waiting for that, David. No, I want the ketchup. You have a ketchup. I said I'm going to catch up, and you didn't put up the ketchup. I gave you your.
Because I don't have the ketchup
Oh.
next to me. I have a potato that eats ketchup.
Say that
So,
whenever Peter Marshall and Hollywood Squares would say it's ketchup time, I had this image of ketchup.
Oh, Hollywood Squares. So I found Hollywood Squares the other night, on one of those crazy 1200 stations. And I'm watching it, and the top right corner was a guy named Tom Bray. Do any of you remember Tom Bray from Airwolf?
No.
Did I ask this? Did I ask you this already?
no.
And I played opposite Tom Bray in one of my many road company tours of Applause. And he looked, and I was like 29 or something, and he was already 35-ish. And you know the story of Applause, and she's supposed to be older. And he looked like my son. He wore glasses, and he was very thin, and he was always playing a kid on TV. He was in Airwolf, and he was on some other show.
Yeah.
And I had never seen him on anything. I didn't know who he was, but he had a following. So that was probably the best attended tour that I ever did. That's all. I just wanted to mention
Oh, so
that I
you saw
actually
this guy on TV in a square.
he was on Hollywood Squares. He was evidently famous enough to be on Hollywood fucking
Right.
Squares,
I got one. Next Thursday, I'm doing a show in New Hampshire, and the club is owned by John Davidson of Hollywood Square.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yes, who's been on this
There you
program.
go.
by the way.
What part of New Hampshire?
It's way up north. It's in Sandwich, which is about an hour and a half north of Concord.
Oh,
Oh,
It's in the middle of nowhere.
I played Old Salem, but I don't know any other parts of New Hampshire.
I get to go. I always refer to my agents as Star Trek because I get to go where no man has ever been before.
well, the people of Sandwich are well bred.
And sconed as well. Yes. Okay. And they are sconed in the ways
Everybody
of the
gets
world.
stoned. Yeah. All right.
so what's the score now?
The score now. Notice David is now in a tie.
Yes. Now he's really interested in
With
that. Yeah.
I folded the laundry.
Well, he and Cliff Eberhardt are tied at 4 with Leslie Hoban and Blake with 2 points. So it's still any.
This is where I said I got to catch up, and you didn't use your cue. That was where that all
I
came
did use
from.
my cue. Here's my cue. Hun, do I have ketchup anywhere?
I think we should call this show Tangent City.
Love it. Oh, yay! There's my ketchup.
Oh,
okay.
it's just so good. This is the
What
best.
brand is? Oh, Sir Kensington's. Okay, okay, I've heard of that.
It's
Yes,
really good. Okay, so why is it sticky?
It's got honey.
Oh, we're almost finished with round 2.
God, that brings up so many images. What?
Cliff Eberhardt, you get a question here where you can take the lead away from David Sheward. Are you ready, Cliff?
No,
Not
I
bloody
can't.
likely.
Do I have 4? Do I have 2?
You have 2. Leslie, you
I
have 2.
can't take the lead. I can tie for the lead.
Wait, this question goes to Cliff Eberhardt.
It's Cliff.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. That was not my question. Okay, forget it.
No, it goes to John.
Sorry, Cliff.
Cliff.
What I get for not paying attention.
It's okay. It's okay, Leslie. I've made a couple of mistakes this episode myself. Here's the year
Really? What were they?
1878. 1878. Cliff, born today, is this Irish Catholic singer-songwriter, one of whose best-known numbers begins with this lyric, quote, "Who is the man who will spend or will even lend? Who is your friend when you find you need a friend?"
Oh.
This is not a multiple choice. This is
Could you repeat what year it was?
1878. Born today, Irish Catholic singer-songwriter, one of whose best-known numbers begins with the lyric, "Who is the man who will spend or will even lend? Who is your friend when you find that you need a friend?"
I don't know any Irish Catholic. Well,
Wasn't it John? What's his name?
And actually,
John Gorka, right?
kill me.
Lin-Manuel Noriega.
I should mention, for 1 point, please name the songwriter, and for the second, who is that friend?
I know who the friend is. Is that true?
No.
I'm trying to remember. I have pandemic brain. Can't recall people's names. Stephen Foster.
Is that your final answer?
It's my only answer.
Well, my little foster child, I'm afraid that was a really great guess, but it is not the correct answer. So, our other contestants, I'm going to roll the die, which comes up with a big number 6, which is closest. To David Sheward.
Okay.
David, this is the kind of the thing that you just kind of rattle off.
So for 2 points, I get if I say the name of the composer.
Well, 1 point for the composer, 1 point if you tell us who the friend is in the song.
All right. I'm going to say it's George M. Cohen, and the friend is Harrigan.
And the friend is who?
Harrigan.
It's
H-A-R-R-I.
Cohen, not Cohen. It's Cohen.
So,
Yeah.
Cohen. George M. Cohen.
You kind of make him Jewish there, David. It's like give my gods to blood. Now, so, David, is that your final answer?
Yeah, be sure you park the car.
I'm a Yankee Doodle Chassid. Anywho, David Sheward, you are actually correct. It is George M. Cohan. So, David Sheward taking the lead with 6 points at the end of round 2.
And was it Harrigan?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, Harrigan. H-A-R double, or was it H-A-R-R-I?
H-A-R-R-I.
G-A-N spells Harrigan.
Spells Harrigan.
Harrigan. That is the friend who did. Well done, David Sheward. Well done.
You guys need to rehearse
But
it.
you know, he went through life with that thing about people calling him Cohen and not registering him at hotels and whatnot. That's a
because they thought
true
he was
story.
Jewish. Oh.
Yeah, he had trouble because once he left New York, it was, it was not that the only name that would come up would be Cohen, and they wouldn't let him go into certain restricted hotels.
And rightly so, because Jews are horrible. But let's get to. I'm kidding. Says David Lefkowitz. So here's the deal. We're moving into the third and final round of a very exciting and tight game. Check it out. David Sheward has 6 points. Cliff
He's the one drinking the tequila. He's the only one who's tight. I don't know about any of the rest of them.
And Leslie, you are on the board. You have 2 points, so you are not.
Thanks a lot.
I'm just
Better than 0, huh?
Yeah, much better than 0. So everything
Oh,
is
thanks. Even more so, yes.
So we come to our third round of 3 more questions, all of which happened on July 3rd in history. Leslie, now you get to try and tie with Cliff if you get this question. Are you ready? We go back to 1883. Born today in Prague is this author who wrote to his friend and fellow writer, quote, "Dearest Max, my last request, everything I leave behind me in the way of diaries, manuscripts, letters, my own and others, sketches, and so on, is to be burned unread." Name the author who did burn 90% of his work, but Max saved the rest.
What, 1890 what?
1883, born today.
1883.
Charles Nelson Riley.
That would have been my first guess. My second guess will be, I'm going to say Franz Kafka. I don't know who else was born in Prague. I don't know anybody of that particular, that part of Europe is a mystery to me. I don't really know it.
So is that going to be your final answer?
Yeah, Kafka.
I'll put this woman on trial. You got it right, Leslie Hoban Blake. It was, in fact, Franz Kafka. Max Brod was his confidant, his publisher, his whatever, who kind of promised that he would burn Kafka's stuff, but he didn't, thank goodness. And so that's why we have Metamorphosis and all that.
And
so,
that's why we have cockroaches today.
Shh. And
Mr. Peabody.
Thank you, Joyce. Every groan from you is like a shower of applause from anyone else.
there you go. Well, check it out. You do deserve applause, Leslie, because now you and Cliff Eberhardt are tied with 4
Okay,
points.
Cliff.
Only
It's
2
you and me,
points.
kid.
Sure. So here we go.
Kid.
Battling for second.
But David you have 6 points, and you can make it very, very difficult for anybody to win if you get this question right. So are you ready?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's yours to lose, David.
I'm
Go
ready.
ahead.
I'm ready.
The year was 1913. Okay. Born today was this newspaper columnist, the voice of Broadway, who also became a regular panelist on TV's What's My Line? Name her.
Dorothy Kilgallen.
Whoa.
Look at who you're giving that question to. Are you nuts?
That's why we randomized who gets what.
That's
question at the
right.
beginning of
Sure
the
we
show.
do.
David,
Sure we do.
final answer?
Yes, that's my final answer.
Well, you may keep quartz alive, but you have to kill the gallon. I'm very sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, David Sheward with 2 more points. That puts him up with 8, which essentially puts the game out of contention. But Cliff, we're going to give you your third question of the third round. Are you ready?
I just happened to see something on Facebook today about Dorothy Kilgallen, so that
I would have gone with Kitty Carlisle, and I would have been wrong.
yeah.
Oh.
It's on To Tell the Truth, not What's My Line.
No,
See,
but
wow.
Kitty Carlisle didn't have a column. She didn't write.
And
Oh.
and the night that, or rather, right at the first show after Kilgallen died, Kitty Carlisle took over her seat on the panel that night.
My brain is not big enough for this.
Well, the nice thing about Kitty Carlisle is that she had a heart. So there you go. I don't even know what that means.
Oh boy.
Oh!
I get it.
No moss growing on me. All right, 1927 was the year, Cliff. 1927 was the year. Born today in England is enfant terrible director Ken Russell, best known for directing Tommy and Women in Love. Which of these is not a lesser-known Ken Russell film? Multiple choice. Is it A, Whore?
Oh no. God.
B,
Really?
The Fall?
Really? Really?
The Fall of the Louse of Usher. C,
Ugh.
A Kitten for Hitler.
Oh God.
Or D, Felix and Fanny.
Oh my Lord.
That's really good. That's a good one.
You know, I actually know the person that was his last wife. Is a good friend of mine.
Oh,
Russell?
Ken Russell, yeah.
Oh wow.
so did she give you the answer to this one?
Yes, let's ask John.
He was capable of anything. So read them again. I got the horror one memorized. What are the other ones?
Or you would remember The Fall of the Louse of Usher, A Kitten for Hitler, or Felix and Fanny. Which of these is not a lesser-known Ken Russell film?
How about Felix and Fanny?
Is that your final answer?
My only answer.
Well, you did not fall on your fanny with that question, Cliff Eberhardt. Yeah, I thought I'd get you because he did all these music documentaries and you'd be about the Mendelssohns. But no, that's one of the composers he didn't touch. Well done. Felix and Fanny was not one of his movies. All these were movies of his, including A Kitten for Hitler, which was a short movie he made deliberately to be offensive. So God bless him for that.
People like German Shepherds, like not kittens. That right? It wasn't the.
He was the Taika Waititi of his day. Yes.
I thought the false one was the fall of the Louse of Usher.
Louse of Usher. That's one of his. Yeah, I think it was a short
one called Lair the White Worm.
That was one of his movies also. As
Who
was
was his last wife, Cliff?
Yeah.
Lisi Tribble is her name.
Oh.
She a nice lady, or is she
She's wonderful. Yeah, she lives on East 3rd Street. She was originally married to one of the singer-songwriters that I came up through the ranks with David Massagill.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him, and actually I've heard he was kind of a douche. How many times have you heard that joke?
He had a band. When I first moved to New York, his band was David Massagill and the Douchebags. His grandfather invented the douche.
No, really?
Yeah,
Oh my God!
that's a legacy nobody wants.
Well, I got in some hot water, I'll tell you. But you know, I don't know.
Pass the
Anyway.
vinegar.
By the way, Cliff, do you happen to have a pen or pencil and a scrap of paper?
Yeah, I'm
No.
a writer, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe you use a guitar string to write. So, Because even though, first of all, congratulations, Hosanna, Hosanna, David Sheward with 8 points, winner of the game. Cliff Eberhardt in second with 6 big points. Leslie Hoban Blake with 4. So everybody did commendably well today. That's quite wonderful.
One of the highest scoring groups, right?
Yeah, last week too was really amazing. So we're due our tiebreaker last question, even though there's no tie, just for funsies. But instead of, since all three of you are going to answer it together.
To write it in Serbo-Croatian language?
Yeah, if you can write, if you not only have to write it on a piece of paper, but write it please in Serbo-Croatian, just for kicks. No, seriously. And what we'll do is I ask the question twice, and then I'll give a countdown 3, 2, 1, and on 1 you hold up the paper and show it to the camera, so you can all do it at the same time. Cool?
Cool.
All right, let's do our final question. The year 1959. Ian Maxtone Graham is the British-sounding name of this American writer and producer. He's won 6 Emmys for his work on this series, for which he wrote such episodes as Trash of the Titans, The Trouble with Trillions, and The Seemingly Never-Ending Story. Name that show.
Can you spell his last name, please?
That I can do. Okay, born today, Ian Maxtone Graham, Maxtone hyphen Graham. Wow. The British sounding name of an American writer and producer, and he's won 6 Emmys for his work on this series, for which he wrote such episodes as Trash of the Titans, The Trouble with Trillions, and The Seemingly Never-Ending Story. Name that show. Trillions, because that was the. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Leslie, write something? Or nothing. You could,
Wait.
Leslie's writing John Gorka, so that's fine. And I know you're going to talk to him later today, and you're going to say this idiot on the show. So, Leslie, you've written the thing?
Yeah.
Remember, though. It's nice
Okay.
he's remembered
So,
his book well.
As Cliff would say, my only answer. I can't come up with this one at all.
6-time Emmy winner Ian Maxtone Graham. What show is he really famous for, best known for writing for? 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. Hold them up. Okay, I've got Nova. I've got Grey's Anatomy, and I've got Rocky and Bullwinkle. Oh, my goodness. I seem to have stumped the panel this time. Guys, no, the answer is The Simpsons.
Oh.
I was at least in the right genre. Okay.
Yeah, it is The Simpsons. So, yeah. Because, if you ever watch the credits, it's like the first name, and usually also in the beginning of the show, he wrote a bunch of episodes. Oh. So, yeah. But doesn't matter, because there's no winnings or earnings anyway. It just means we've had a whole great deal of fun playing.
Hey, Cliff, come back. You're good at this.
Yeah.
He scored like 6 points. So, first of all, let's thank Cliff Eberhardt for being on Dave's Gone By today, for talking with Rabbi Saul Solomon, and for playing the game with us. Let's remind people, cliffeberhardt.net, and it's EBERHARDT, cliffeberhardt.net, for all his stuff, for his music, and for his tour dates. I'm sorry? His calendar, right. So he'll be in New Hampshire in a few days, but more importantly, next Sunday, he will be in Patchogue, New York, at a house concert in a backyard. To find, just go to his website, cliffeberhardt.net, to get the email address from which you can get where the party is, how to pay for it, how to show up, how to bring whatever you want to bring. Is there anything you want to tell us about that concert coming up in Patchogue, Cliff?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'll be doing lots of songs for my new album. How about that?
His new album, because it's KNEW, called New Things, okay? Because he knew things, new things. Okay. And by the way, thank you also to the lovely and delightful Leslie Hoban Blake. So, Leslie, have you finished the?
Yes,
you did.
We finished the goddamn thing. We finished it.
So
it should be up on YouTube by Monday. It will be on our next show on Thursday. I think it's this Thursday is our next show. I don't know anymore. So because we missed so many weeks of everything. It's just been
Well, thank
David,
God you're healthy, Leslie. Thank you.
yeah, Charlie had a few problems also, I discovered. So we just took a health vacation. Nothing to worry about. You talk to him about it. I
Okay.
have no right to speak about anybody else's. My
Yeah.
point is that we mentioned it on the show and on your show as well. Everybody go out and get your regular checkups, everything that you didn't do during the pandemic. I cannot stress that too highly. Not going to the doctor's.
Preach, Leslie, preach.
Okay, Leslie, we lost your audio, but let me absolutely great
Where's the
advice.
AMA?
I know Leslie just had her prostate checked. It's
Oh,
working
That's right, and I'm okay, but it's just by the grace of God, you know.
But what Leslie was talking about before is the show that she does with our friend Charlie Gross. It's called Critics Circle. There's a YouTube channel called Critics Circle where they finally finished the episode they've been working on for months with my former boss and coworker and a friend of the Daverhood, Robert Viagas, who has started a new theater. He's the editor of a new theater magazine. You can watch those on the Critics Circle channel of YouTube. Now, David Sheward, as you said, you're going to be reviewing a couple of things. You're going to see Frumacera, but what did you remind us? What you thought about
the latest review that I have on Theater Life, and I'm going to post it on Cultural Daily today, is a review of a digital virtual performance of a play called Tiny House, which the Westport Country Playhouse has put online.
For people who want to know more about that, we have Michael Gotch, the author.
Oh,
that just on last week or 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
so go watch an old Dave's Gone By from 2 weeks ago on davesgoneby.com and see Michael Gotch.
Yeah, he is the playwright.
David Sheward, is that where Tiny Alice lives?
Yes, and
I thought so. Okay.
Tiny something or other lives there too. I don't
Right.
know. Yes.
And actually, all the Little Women, they live there as well. Who just barely fit.
Yeah.
Tiny Alice and the Little Women. Now that's a name for a band, man. That's the name for a band.
Tiny Alice.
And it should probably be big lumberjack kind of guys in it.
Yeah.
Well, David Sheward, Leslie Hoban Blake, John Gorka. Just kidding. I knew that was
I think
intense.
there's a dead horse in the room.
Oh, I forgot to tell you the most important thing about the
Oh, your contest.
Oh, and your play.
Your play at Red Bull.
Please see my play virtually next Monday, July 12th, 7:30. It's pay what you can.
It's the Monday after. It's not next
not
Monday.
this
It's the
Monday,
Monday
but
after.
Monday week. On Red Bull Theater Company's website, I'm part of the Short New Play Festival with my play, Restoration Playhouse. So please go see it. It's a very funny play. I think it's going to go great. And there's a whole bunch of other plays with it. But it's redbulltheater.com. But how did I not even mention this?
Alan Weissenberg got indicted.
When I was talking about
You want a spit take? You really want a spit take, right?
How did I miss this? The beauty queen. I never explained some of these things about that Norway question. The beauty queen from hell was a very cool joke because hell is a place in Norway.
Oh,
So it actually came from a place called hell, and the knighthood, which Cliff got this one right, it was the knighthood that was not bestowed on Eric Larson, the King's Horse. This is even better. The knighthood was bestowed on Nils Olaf III, ceremonially knighted with a proclamation by the king, who's also the recent king's called Harold. All Nils Olafs, the first, second, and third, are penguins.
Oh.
They actually knighted a penguin in Norway.
And he was dressed for it. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Guys, it's been absolutely a delight. I thank each and every one of you for coming, for playing. Cliff Eberhardt, so great to have you as our
Lovely meeting you, Cliff.
Yes.
Lovely meeting you.
So nice. So nice to see you.
Sort of meeting, yes.
Have a
I forget this isn't real life anymore. This is our life. This is what we do.
Happy 4th of July to all of you.
Yes.
Safe
Yes.
and healthy travels and
Celebrate. Watch out. Don't use firecrackers, etc. Okay.
and check your prostates. I'm gonna let each of you go. So
Don't check your prostate with a firecracker.
Oh my God. What a concept.
I'm so happy I tuned in today.
Bye, Mr.
Please
Gorka.
come back.
Bye.
Bye,
See you
Cliff.
later.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one. Thanks so much for playing the game. And David Sheward, we'll see you next week, I'm hoping. Same time, same bat channel, and all that.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And Leslie
Au
Hoban.
revoir. Bye, Joyce.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
By the way, my building is not doing anything anymore. They don't even have anybody running the health club. They put a security guard at the front desk. I don't know I don't know what's going to happen in terms of what is going to happen with the. It's going to go to rack and ruin, is what it's going to do. They better get it set up pretty quick. I'm getting angry now. Okay, that's it. That's
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wait, way to go out. She's getting angry now. Bye, Leslie.
What's the site you complain on, David, all the time?
Yelp or
You don't need to Yelp. You just got David Sheward.
Well.
Yeah, but I would be mad if they didn't have a health club. They're paying for it.
Oh, exactly. Of course. I mean, that was the thing when we have a pool for you.
Your decorations do look pretty pitiful, honey.
Well,
I know. Yeah. You need to.
Yeah, we need to gussy it up next time. Yeah. It's like, am I
least,
not enough?
At least try, honey. You gotta try.
Oh boy. Embarrassment galore. Not to mention, thanks for nobody for mentioning. Maybe you can't even really see it on TV screen. But I've got like a weird little eye. I don't know if it's an infection or just an irritation. But I've had this for a couple of days where it's making either it's a sty or a little baby cyst or just a little annoyance. So if you're seeing why is that little eye corner so red, I'm not. I guess I should use red eye reduction on this camera. But anywho, it's 11:45 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood, where we're doing Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz. What fun we have had. We have a bit more to do, because Rabbi Saul Solomon is going to be coming back to read the Jewish newspapers. They're not in Yiddish. They're just local newspapers here in Nassau County that are geared towards the Orthodox and Jewish community. He likes to pull out some things that he finds rather enjoyable. It's kind of his version of Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Plus, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. But before then, since we're so lucky to have people like Cliff Eberhardt in the and such tolerant people as Cliff Eberhardt in the Daverhood, we welcome him as a friend. And of course, friends of the Daverhood are people who have been on this program in months or years past. They could have been in our first year on the show or last couple of months. They're friends, and we like to let people know, hey, this is what they're up to. Since they've been with us, here's how productive they've been. Here's all the great stuff they're doing. Our friends of the Daverhood. So
I've called your other names when I tweet you. Sometimes he comes up with other names. One time I said another name and you're like, who's that?
Well, I've called you many names in bed, so there you go. Remember when I called you Isaiah? You were like, huh? Just kidding. So the friends of the Daverhood are let's tell you what people who've been on this show are doing now. For example, if you haven't seen the film In the Heights, which I haven't yet, and I know we're not going to see it because Lin-Manuel, who is involved. But Daphne Rubin Vega has a major role in there. Daphne Rubin Vega from Rent, and I think Two Sisters and a Piano. She's in that movie, and she was on this show. So a shout out to Daphne. Tony Trishka is giving a week of online guitar lessons for the Maryland Folk Life Center. So yeah, another person kind of just like Cliff Eberhardt and John Lorca. So Tony Trishka, check it out at the Maryland Folk Life Center website or Tony's website. Gilbert Gottfried was just yesterday on Q104.3, the radio station, celebrating their 25th anniversary, and you can find his appearance on YouTube, because I guess they post everything there like we do. It was Q104.3 in New York. Our friend Gilbert Gottfried. Want to let you know that this weekend is your last chance to see the George Street Playhouse's virtual staging of the Terrence McNally comedy It's Only a Play, which features our friend Julie Halston. So it's today and tomorrow only. Check out George Street Playhouse's website. And then It's back. For years we've been mentioning this, then we kind of had to stop, and then it became kind of virtual, but Jim Caruso's cast party is back at Birdland every Monday night, starting July 5th and moving onward. Get tickets at birdlandjazz.com. And see, things are opening up. Concerts are starting. Loudon Wainwright III is going to be at City Winery on July 8th. So that's this week. So tomorrow's the 4th, 5, 6, 7, 8, Thursday. Thursday night, go see Loudon Wainwright III at City Winery. I was mentioning Tom Paxton before, and Cliff brought it up even before I did. Now, Tom Paxton is going to be in Annandale, Virginia, Spotlight Series in the Park, happening this Friday evening. Go see legend Tom Paxton in his home area of Virginia. There's a podcast coming out that Julie Haggerty did. It's called Grasses of a Thousand Colors. I believe it is a play for audio by Wallace Shawn, but there's going to be a Zoom of it that's starting on July 11th. On July 9th. July 9th, the release date, Julie Haggerty. The podcast is going to be on PRX Radio. Now through July 11th, so you have a week to see the plays Something Unspoken and The Hairdresser, both of them featuring our friend Penny Fuller. And this, I'm sorry, what?
Can you talk about your play?
I'll mention it after the Friends of the Daverhood. But there's also, after those one acts, there'll be a Zoom Q&A with Louise Lasser and Valerie Smaldone. So we get 3 friends in one shot. Find out more at foodforthoughtproductions.com. Playing now through the end of July, and I'm sure they'll extend, Todd Robbins' Haunt Quest. That's going to be at Soho Playhouse. Haunt Quest from Todd Robbins. Excuse me. See, when I hit the 3-hour mark, the lips just don't work
Come on,
anymore.
John, get it together.
Barbara Fasano and Eric Comstock, check out their YouTube page because they do duets together. Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com. Dr. Demento still doing... Sorry, what?
How's everyone doing?
He should be fine. I spoke to him a few weeks ago, so he seems like he's doing great.
Good.
So, and his website is still there, StageBuddy.com. DrDemento.com for Dr. Demento shows, and podcasts of upstate New York history by Bob Cudmore at BobCudmore.com. Those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. The next voice you'll hear and see, once again returning to the camera, Rabbi Sol Solomon, who'll be reading the papers. Shalom again, my friends. I got a little bit of a frog in my throat, if you will. So that's why I've got my tea here, which was whipped up by Dave's beloved wife, Joyce. Oh, I'll need this. Oh, that's good. So, my friends, I am Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches. I was very proud and excited to talk to Cliff Eberhardt. See, I remember his name.
Who?
Dave the moron doesn't remember, but I remember Cliff Eberhardt.
You should have asked him his Hebrew name.
I should have asked his Hebrew name. It's probably Cliffowitz. Eberhardtstein. Could have been.
How do you say heart in Neshama?
Lev means heart.
In Neshama, soul.
Soul is neshama, but Eber is Eberlev. And if you've ever got epilepsy, you start shaking everywhere. But you know, damn it. So, here's the deal. I'm in Great Neck, New York, and we get these newspapers that are geared towards the Jewish community. They're specifically written for the Orthodox and the Frum, and that's where I'm from. So I go through them, and there are things that I want to share with you. Now, first of all, of course, if it's a Jewish-oriented paper, you can't go 2 pages without something about the Holocaust or about white supremacy and people who hate Jews. There it is. What page was this? Oh, this is all the way on page 67. What a shock. They probably flagged it on page 1, I'm telling you. But let's see, what else do we have here? Now, here's an advertising. It was what soup? This, no, I'll show you here. This is, look at this. Oh, here's what I don't understand. Some see buildings, others see eternity. I see buildings. It's buildings. It's just buildings. What the hell? What's wrong with you? I don't get it.
It's like Rabbi's legacy.
Maybe. Now, this bothers me. This upsets me. Here's this from the paper. Keeping it practical. With this picture. There is really nothing practical about the celebration of Sukkot, holding an etrog, making blessings, building a sukkah for 7 days where you eat meat, and doing this with children. There is nothing remotely practical about what is going on here. And it's very possible something illegal is going on here. I don't want to know where that etrog goes. But ladies and gentlemen, and then there's nothing funny about this, and yet, something's just not. It's not going to be Hank Greenberg. Give it up. It's nice that they're playing sports, but sit down, learn some chess. That's really, the black people, they want to go play basketball. They think they can get in the NBA. I am telling you, you're not making, well, maybe the Mets. Anywho, what else we got coming up here? Look at it. Final call. So if you've been in the market for a retarded baby, this is your final call. They're going fast, ladies and gentlemen. They're cut rate during the July 4th holiday. Buy yours now. What else did I cut out here? We get a lot of jokes thrown at us because the 5 books of Moses are Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, and Devarim. Well, the first book of the Bible Hebrew name is Bereshit. It's generally spelled Bereshit, which is hilarious for basically everyone. So they're trying. These people are making their stab at calling it Bereshit because I think they know very well that they don't want to be selling something with the word shit in the title. Although God knows I will. Anywho.
Of course it's senior living. Ugh.
Oh, is that what it is? The Bereshit. What do I want to do here? Okay. First of all, everything is wrong about this. Just everything. And if I saw Joey Chestnut doing this on July 4th, I would just turn away. I don't even.
Why is she eating the flag?
Because I don't even have a joke for this. I just like looking at this and going, the world is going to hell. All right. So, hey, you're looking for fun?
Yeah.
Are you looking for fun?
Darn right.
Join the fun at CMY. Yeah, because these guys. Oh, they're going to be, because this one has a funny hat. Ooh, and they've got stripes. And that's comedy right there. That's always comedy when you have red stripes and things.
Lord.
Yeah, I know. It's just wrong. So.
They look like a candy cane.
Well, how about this? I think they told this kid to draw or to create an octopus, and this is about the best that he could do. Yeah, we're not particularly creative with our hands either. Stick to accounting. All right, but then. Who says Jews don't have a sense of humor or aren't active? It's stretch for their stretchers. Yes. So if you're like me and you have some issues where your pants aren't loose enough for your ever-growing and ever-hurting testicles, yes, there's this. There's this guy. He's Zeke Stretch pants and blazers for guys that want some stretch for their stretchers. So, actually, if you're talking about old Jews, stretchers is an entirely different kind of conveyance, I have to tell you. So, let's see what else we have here. Oh, it's the Simcha Day Camp. And look at this. Simcha Day Camp, ladies and gentlemen. They have daily, everything you want from a camp, including daily Rebbe time. This is why they got complexes 30 years later, and they have to juggle the rabbis around. But now they have daily Rebbe time, and they have, what else? Sports specialties, and a private wing within a 9-acre campus. Oh, boy. And where's that retarded kid from before? There we go. And, hey, if you don't want that camp, there's this camp, Camp Matov, where I think they do something like this. Whatever is going on here, he needs to stop immediately. I don't want to know. I'm not sure. Nothing good is going to come of this. Whatever is going on here, whatever he is doing to that bird.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if it's ventriloquism,
No, he's doing castrates.
Then he's about to kill that thing. I don't even want to know. If you were going to promote a concert, right, with Rav Moshe Weinberger and Eitan Katz doing some music and having some fun, okay, how would you promote a great gathering that you would want to go to, that you would have fun with, that you would bring the family, maybe a picnic? Oh, I know! Destructive, horrible fire! That's a logo for a music festival right there. If this was Woodstock 1990, this should have been their logo, ladies and gentlemen. But Eitan Katz is going to be there. Yeah, we're going to want to see this.
What's the thing we saw that was a fake? It was a fake concert. Remember they?
Well, the Fire Festival, they tried,
Festival.
This is the real Fire Festival, ladies and gentlemen. Like, good God! I mean, I think Lag BaOmer, there's like a fire thing, but still, Gewalt. And what did I want to do? Oh, that's just pretty. What did I do for this? I'm not sure why, but couple of duds in every batch of these. Over 47. You can. It will take you your lifetime just to read every book on this page. But if you want them, over 40 sets to choose from of 1-800-MESORA for these art scrolls. You can choose from Rashi, or the Chumash, or my favorite, Rambam, or the Stone Chumash, which is related to the Stone Chumash of the Scottish people. Plus, and more books than anyone, Rav Chaim Kanevsky on Chumash. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Hours of delight. This is just in perspective, like the Harry Potter series is 1/10 of one of these, just so you know. But still fun. Oh, I'm one of the most joyous rabbis you will ever meet. This one is probably not.
Let's see.
Oh, this man was born having a bad day. This poor guy. 31 orphans getting married in Tammuz. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a matchmaker. Matchmaker, make me a match. Look at your punim. Maybe you've got an itch you need to scratch. With abundance in ruchnius and gashmius for them and their offspring. Mit mazel tov, and there he is on his Kindle. No doubt reading about the Holocaust. 1888 Kupat Hair. Except they don't actually dial the IR because it'll already be ringing. 1888 Kupat Ear. And, I'm saving him. Oh, I'm saving him. Let's talk a little bit about this, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, you're watching the Dave's Gone By program with me, Rabbi Saul Solomon, for the moment. I'm reading the newspapers. It's 12:05 in the afternoon on this July 3rd, 2021. So this is why Jewish people are completely messed up in the head. Articles like writing, like, you know why we write 12,000 books on everything? Not to tell great stories, but to delve into subjects like this. I learned the daf very well this week. A daf is a passage in the Torah that you're studying. And I can't really see how it has relevance to practical halacha. Now, this is a person writing in and asking the author of this thing. Okay. The answer is the daf doesn't have to have any practical relevance. That should tell you everything you need to know about religion. Learning Torah is a mitzvah. Even, oh wait, this is not, is this the one I wanted to? Yes. Okay. Is a mitzvah, even if it's not halacha l'maaseh, something you have to do. Furthermore, the logic behind various scenarios can be applied elsewhere, even if the exact situation discussed in the Gemara doesn't exist. By the way, and now they're off to the races. Here we go. By the way, I wanted to ask your opinion on an interesting situation. There are two babies having a bris in the same shul with the same moil. I hope he's using two different knives, or at least, if he's biting two sides of his mouth. All right. One child was born Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. The other was born at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Which baby should have his bris first? The answer takes up the entire rest of this page. I mean, they don't even have an answer. Listen to this. The answer, actually, from the daf this week, we learned that there is no preference. The Gemara discusses a goat. The Gemara discusses a goat that was designated for a korban on Yom Kippur. Another goat was designated for the same exact korban. The Kohen, wait, where are we?
I think it's Kohan.
No, the Kohen Gadol, the great high priest, has to choose which one to bring. The Gemara suggests that even though one was purchased earlier and designated earlier, that itself is not a reason to choose that one. Ooh. Ultimately, both the original korban and the replacement are not viable until a second lottery is performed. Therefore, they both become viable at the exact same time. Ooh, so too here, although one baby was born earlier, he cannot have his bris until the morning of the 8th day. The baby that was born later can also have his bris performed at the same time on the morning of the 8th day, since the obligations can... I'm telling you, this goes on for paragraphs. And they don't actually come to an answer. They're basically saying either or, choose again. This is why Jews are essentially mad, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want proof, I've saved the best for last. I've saved the proof for last. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever is going on in here, everything is going on in here. Everything you want to know about who I am as a person is right here in this, my friends. Oh, he's a happy man. Ooh. I don't know if this grew up into that. To pray and bring about a Yeshua for childless couples. So this is the same group that was taking the orphans and getting them married. Now this guy's trying to help give babies to childless couples. And look at that. He's got the list. He's got the bribes in his pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, this is... Whenever you're feeling down, when you're feeling low, if you still can't see a lot of your friends and relatives because of the pandemic, or you've had a bad year so far, just think of this guy. Think of this face. He's no schmooly, but he'll do. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Rabbi Saul Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. I'm going to bring Dave Lefkowitz on to finish the Dave's Gone By program for this Shabbos just before July 4th. Have a happy, have a healthy, and stick some firecrackers in your menorah. Have some fun. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz. And by the way, thanks for the hundreds and hundreds of people who have written in. I have tried the scrotum cream, and it seems to be working. I need to use it a bit more often, but it's helping with the itch, just so you know. Anywho, we've got just a little bit more to get through on this episode of Dave's Gone By Live on July 3rd, 2021, our 805th episode of the show. We're so grateful to Cliff Eberhardt for being with us, and also to David Sheward and Leslie Hoban Blake for taking part in the show, for making our 805th as fun as the 804 that we've done before this, all of which I remind you that you can see by going to davesgoneby.com, archive.org. If you want to just listen, .fm, or see 1 hour excerpts of this program at random Monday mornings at 1 a.m. and Tuesdays at 4 a.m. on Comcast Altice Channel 20 if you're in the Nassau County cable area. And also look for us on YouTube. Are we anywhere? I think that about covers it. These are all the places that you can watch or listen to Dave's Gone By. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will end the show now because we've had quite a show, haven't we? But there's just one more thing to do. As promised, or you might say as threatened, every week, because we lived in Colorado for all those years, I loved Colorado, and I got it into my head while I was living there to write a poem about a different town or city or municipality in that beautiful state, in a short poem, a limerick, a 5-line poem. And because it's a limerick, of course, they have to be horrible and disgusting and awful and punchliney and so forth. And today is no different. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to Creede, Colorado, for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain, Colorado,
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Colorado for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where this week we go to Creede, Colorado, Creede. It is a town of about 250 people in southwestern Colorado, right by the Rio Grande, so they've got fishing and hiking. Kit Carson's brother-in-law farmed there in the 1840s, and then by the 1870s they had a big mineral boom there. In fact, by the 1890s, silver mining in Creede, Colorado brought like 10,000 people to the region. Then when Denver started getting puritanical about booze and gambling and licentious things like that, Creede was right there stepping in. So it became this real big, open, free-ish sort of city. But Creede also attracted people like underworld kingpin Soapy Smith, what a name, Robert Ford, who not only moved there after shooting Jesse James, but somebody shot him in payback for killing Jesse James, and that happened in Creede, and Bat Masterson lived there too for a bit. Now, the silver boom ended, and then Denver also kind of loosened its restrictions on stuff, so Creede kind of went a bit downhill, but they still had a lot of mineral mining, and it is the home of the world's largest fork. A 40-foot aluminum fork is a sculpture, which, by the way, it beats the giant fork of Springfield, Missouri, that is only 35 feet long. So if you come to a fork in the road, you're probably in Creede. John Wayne mentions Creede in the movie The Shootist, and if you saw the very good movie, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, of course, part of that will take place in Creede, that part where Ford was assassinated himself. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to assassinate the English language now with a poem that is not for the young. So you might want to scoot them out of the room here for adult content, if you will, in a juvenile way. Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Creede, Colorado. A hush falls on the crowd. A neophyte hooker from Creede was very inexpert indeed. She'd shudder and sob when gobbling a knob, and vomit when swallowing seed. Please send your comments and complaints, mainly complaints, to davesgoneby@aol.com. Dave's Gone By, DAVESGONEBY. davesgoneby@aol.com, or feel free to post your suggestions and complaints right here on this Facebook page, or if you're a friend on Facebook, you can message me right here on the Dave's Gone By Facebook page. I neglected to mention that Facebook automatically saves our Dave's Gone By shows. So for the past couple of years, if you just keep scrolling down and down, you can actually watch the old shows here. Some of those have been muted a bit again for copyright issues, but that's why we always send you to our website, davesgoneby.com first. But remember that we have a Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. It's Radio Dave, the number 2. Remember also, please, that Rabbi Saul Solomon has his own website. It's shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T. Shalomdammit.com. This is the place to, if you wanted to just see or hear Rabbi Saul Solomon's interviews on the show, like the one he did with Cliff Eberhardt early in the program, just go to shalomdammit.com. Also, this is the place to watch episodes of his TV show from several years ago and his stage show, Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon, that we're thinking of bringing back for something small, like a reading or something like that, in early September. We will keep you posted on Shalom Dammit and the presence of Rabbi Saul, of course. Also, I do want to remind you and mention one more time that Monday, July 12th, so not tomorrow, but Monday, July 12th at 7:30 in the evening, you can go to redbulltheater.com. Red, like Red Bull, theater, theater.com, and log in, or you can we prefer that you pre-register to watch the festival, the Short New Play Festival. They do it every year. Usually they do it in person. In this particular case, it's just a one-night benefit on the Red Bull Theater's website, and it's going to feature 7 plays, one of which is written by me. My play is called Restoration Playhouse. If you want to read it, you can. Just go to my other website, davelefkowitz.org. Dave Lefkowitz, LEFKOWITZ.org. My plays are there, my theater reviews, my short stories from years and years ago. It's this whole compendium of this other side of me, the on-paper side of Dave, and my play Restoration Playhouse is right on that website. So, it's kind of a densely worded play. You might want to read it before you see it on Monday night, July 12th, by going to the Red Bull site. It's, what we'll do is, it's a request for donations. So if you don't have any money to give, you're not sure, you can just get a free ticket and just log in for that. But you can also give like $25 or $50 or $100 to the theater company. I get an honorarium for writing the play. I don't get ticket sales or anything like that. So if you want to see it for free or if you want to contribute, that's up to you. But please, please, please go see my play. If you happen to miss it on July 12th, they will have a replay of the festival digitally that you can log in and watch between the 12th and the 16th. But it's not going to be up perpetually. After July 16th, they pull it down because of equity rules. They're not allowed to just keep it up forever. And I don't have rights to it. It's not my thing. So make sure you either see it live Monday night or the next couple of days. Go to the Red Bull Theater Company website. And please, please, please watch Restoration Playhouse. It's fun. It's a lovely, light play all about theater coming back in New York after the pandemic, but it's done in an old-fashioned classical rhymed verse style, and I think it's hilarious. So please do check that out. Well, other things that we need to check out of here and end the show. Anything we wanted to talk about? Anything else we wanted to cover? That
that's probably it.
yeah, I think we've kind of done it. We finally bit the bullet and bought an air fryer that we're going to try on July 4th because it's raining. We're going to barbecue anything. So we bought Brussels sprouts. I bought a steak.
Sweet potato fries.
Sweet potatoes and sweet, not this kind.
No.
Sweet potato fries, an eggplant. So we're going to try all these things in this air fryer.
Eggplant French fries and sweet potato French fries.
I think wasn't it an eggplant pizza or
Yeah.
that was the thing that
We
they.
can't make that all in one day.
We can't.
It's massy
But it's a holiday.
Yeah, but
Oh. Well, we're going to fry some stuff, and we'll let you know how that goes. Because I've always been kind of scared of frying things and oil. I didn't even like when I was a kid, like making eggs where I put butter in the pan, and you have to wait, of course, until if the butter, you wait too long, the butter turns brown and it's bad. But if you don't wait long enough, it just doesn't coat the pan and everything gets stuck. So I wait there, and then of course the butter is ready when it starts to sizzle and spit at you.
Oh.
Or if you're making pancakes or something using oil, oh man, I'm like standing back and wearing gloves, not my thing. So the idea of having a fryer that is A, healthier because you're not dousing everything in oil, and B, that you just close the lid, you put it in the middle of the street, and you walk away in case it blows up. But then you come back in 20 minutes and there's fried food. What's not to love? So we're going to try our air fryer. And as I said, we'll keep you posted on the next episode of Dave's Gone By. With me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful, amazing wife, Joyce. Joyce, happy July 4th to ya. And a most happy and healthy one. Have any thoughts about the holiday at all?
No, not really.
Not really.
I'm not a big holiday person. You know that.
That's true. Well, every day with you is a holiday, my darling. So
Oh, you're really laying it on.
I'm laying it on. And thank you one more time to Leslie Hoban Blake, David Sheward, and John Gorka. No, just kidding. Cliff Eberhardt for
I
being.
hope John will join us. That'd be fun to have him on.
We should have him on again. We should have the both of them on.
Call him Cliff.
Cliff. Well, yeah, that's what I should. That's the only way I can really make it up. Is if I have John Gorka on and I call him repeatedly Cliff Eberhardt.
Yeah, I think you should.
I really should. I should. Or I should have Judy Collins back on and call her Cliff Eberhardt. You never know what will happen on Dave's Gone By. So tune in next week. Well, first of all, of course, tune in to watch Joey Chestnut tomorrow. July 4th. Hot dogs. Gotta see it. And then next Saturday, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on this Facebook channel, the 806th episode
Whoa.
of Dave's Gone By. Make it a great one. Have a safe and very barbecuey holiday. And gone by. I repeat, and gone. God, they make iTunes so much harder. Bye.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by.
Oh God, everybody! Now after doing all that for 3 hours, I have to strike the set.
Oh, it's a lot of work. Pace yourself.
Done.
Pace yourself.